I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like. I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
You're watching Poindexter Lounge. You already know. You're watching Poindexter Lounge for the unity.
Why don't you set aside an hour or two? We'll have a few drinks and a cup of coffee. I don't drink.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. I'm choking on chicken.
Hey, you're watching Poindexter. That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter Lounge.
That's great. I don't.
You are watching Poindexter. Thanks for the lights, Jay.
Roger, Rose, and Call of Duty. I smell like onions and you're watching Poindexter.
That's great. I don't.
And now I'll make the point better. This joint's clever. In the lounge with Poindexter. So Poindexter Lounge, you know that we can get it in. And now I'm headed up like I'm Led Zeppelin.
Hi, you're watching Poindexter Lounge. Do you like nerd stuff? Yeah? Then you'll love this. You never know what might happen or who might show up at the lounge.
I just want to thank you for being here and being my friend. It's always good to have someone you could count on, and I'm glad you're that for me.
My minute basis, like to the point where I do, it's like.
What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Stay right there. What are you doing? Okay, well, stay over there. You don't just get in somebody else's lane, sir. Thank you.
That is, he does.
You're in this lane, and you're not. That's right, one lane.
Literally me.
My lane, not yours.
Like it's a massive thing, and so I want to see his thing.
Give me a bottle of anything and a glazed donut. To go.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge, the mobile Poindexter Lounge. We're almost ready to start doing in-studio stuff again, but it's good to be with you here in the lounge today as we once again do the drive home. It's a little time that you and me and all of us can get together and talk about the things that we love, because that's what the Poindexter Lounge is about. It's a place for nerds. It's a place where we can get together and talk about those things, whether it be TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, and so much more. Those are things that get you excited. Those are things that you are excited about, that you spend your hard-earned money on. If you're like me and you find He-Man swords just laying around at toy stores that you frequent. Whoa, what in the world is going on with this guy? Hold on a second. We got some major stuff going on here. This proves Enosh pays attention to the road. Okay, that lady literally cut across 3 lanes of traffic and was on the expressway. Decided at the last second she needed to get off at that exit and cut across 3 lanes of highway to do it. She literally came to a stop. I kid you not. I wish the camera was pointed the other way, because this lady literally just came to a stop in front of this car in my left and then proceeded to go across 3 lanes to get to the exit. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Anyways, but yeah. I'm gonna share this later, but I was at at my local toy store, there and Back Again Toys, and man, wouldn't Andrew just set me up perfectly for that? Because I walked in and there was a power sword there, dude, metal, everything. I'll share the pictures with you guys in just a little while, but I'll bring the rest of the guys in. But Yeah, my weekend was pretty good. I don't know about your weekend, but we got some stories and stuff to talk about, I know, but my weekend was a pretty good weekend. Spent a lot of time with Shayna this weekend. I was supposed to go to a wedding of a good friend, and some stuff happened that I ended up going to be late, and so we ended up not going to that. But then afterwards, we just went out to dinner and just had a good time, and so that was cool. Let's see, we watched a movie. What movie did I introduce her to the other night? Let's think about that one. Anyway, it's been a great weekend, a relaxing weekend. Got a lot of stuff done this weekend, and and now we're back here doing this with all of you. So, a couple things to look forward to. I just spoke with Dawson earlier, and Dawson's going to join us sometime here on the drive home. It's been a long time since I've been on a stream with Dawson, and so he's getting ready. He's doing all kinds of cool things, man. He's ready to move. He's doing, he's been very successful at his artwork stuff, going to different Comic Cons and shows and stuff like that. So he's going to be up here in Michigan with us and visiting us next month, and so I'm excited about that. I'm excited about seeing my buddy Dawson. The last time I saw Dawson and I were good, but it didn't quite end as well. So I'll be definitely ready to see Dawson on much better terms this time around. I'll just give you a hint. He was at my house around this time last year. So I don't know if I should introduce any of my co-hosts to him, because they seem to take off. Anyways. In the lounge tonight, today, we have, of course, my good friends, Austin and Nerd Cosa Nostra. What's up, guys? How are you doing?
What's up, man?
Listen, all I will tell you is this. If you're married, if you think you're happily married, just don't invite Dawson to your house.
Damn. Dawson.
The
terror apart of families. No.
He didn't even do anything. Like, that's the funny thing is, like, it was like the week after, but it was so funny because Dawson was there, and like it was awkward. So it was like, hey man, how's it going?
Right.
But it wasn't awkward. Actually, I got some great footage of Dawson playing with my dogs that I don't think I ever ended up playing. I got like really great footage of Dawson like with my dogs. Like, Dawson is huge. That's the thing too. Like, people don't realize how tall Dawson is. Dawson is like, what is he, like 6'4" or something like that?
Okay, I'm glad you said. Dude, you just came out and said, yeah, Dawson is huge.
Dawson is huge, really big. Dawson is the greatest ever.
Let me tell you, Dawson is one of the biggest. He's huge. He's huge.
He's the biggest here. I'll prove it by showing you Dawson doing the dance of love. This is how I believe that he convinced his wife to marry him. If I am correct, it's by doing this dance right here. Notice he's almost hitting the ceiling there. By the way, they can hear us over this video for some reason. All the other videos I play, they can't hear us, but when we play this video, they can hear us.
This is amazing. Look at him. Look at him.
It's brilliant.
Look at him go.
Brilliant. Look at him go. Also, we've got Austin's better half over here. We got Bradley. What's up, Bradley?
What's up, guys?
What's up, baby?
Is he there? Can you hear him?
Yeah, I heard him.
Can you guys hear me?
I don't hear him. Okay, now I hear him.
There we go.
Hello?
There we go. Yes, I can hear you now. We were just enjoying Dawson's hugeness.
It's a giant!
It's a giant Dawson! Come in, Dawson.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I have jokes, but I'm going to not say them.
Why? It's hilarious. It's Dawson.
I know. It's great, but I wonder what.
Okay, we'll end the Dawson teasing with this.
Just like to tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit.
I want to see Dawson at a Little People conference. That's all I'm going to say. I let the intrusive thoughts win, Enos. I let them win.
Wow. Well, you know what? You know what's funny about that is, so like I've gotten, like I've been watching a lot more wrestling content lately, especially on YouTube. So YouTube like went full in on me the other day and like started suggesting little people wrestling. I mean, they call it midget wrestling still. It is what it is. I mean, and they don't have a problem with any of it, whatever, I guess. But it's like it was really funny because they did a roll call of all the wrestlers in this one like little person wrestling association. And it's so funny because a lot of them are like just regular names with little before it. So it's like
Little Norm,
Little Tiger, and it's like Little Destroyer, and it's just, subgenre of wrestling that is. I mean, hey, people are making money, man. They're doing what they got to do. I ain't hating on nobody, So, there we go. All right.
There we go.
So, all right. How you doing, Sean? I can't hear anybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, I can. That's so weird.
We can hear you.
I can't hear you guys though. So I'm gonna go out and come back in. I don't know what the heck is going on here. So give me just a second. I'll be right back.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Its usual.
Real quick. I know Nerd and I can talk. I'm sorry to exclude you, baby, but it must be done. Nerd, XMen 97, bro. Oh wait, I can't hear you either, Nerd. Oh, maybe there is something wrong with your audio. Yeah, you're talking into the mic, no audio. Let's see if hey chat, does chat hear, Nerd?
You can exclude me from that conversation all you want. I will never watch it.
No, it's good. It's very, very good.
Never watch Kitty XMen.
That it's not Kitty XMen. You, William, and the rest of you guys can go shush your face. Just shush. It is not Kitty XMen in any way, shape, or form. I promise you that. This is the best X-Men has been. Is there? Yeah. There's people getting stabbed. There's blood.
Lots
there's
of blood.
Sex. There's dude. That's what I was saying. I was surprised they made a show, knowing that this was the people watching were kids, that grew up, and they made an adult show. And I
Wolverine ripping people's heads off with his claws.
Okay, well, that's not even rarely in the X-Men comics. Okay, so
I'm just being hyperbolic.
I know. But still.
Okay.
Well, what's up, man?
I gotta
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I gotta remember. It's because it keeps trying to go through my car, and I forgot my headset. So.
Okay.
And so for some reason it's picking me up, but it's not picking everybody up. So I don't know, but so I'm just going directly from the phone. I turned off the Bluetooth, and so if I say what, it's because I need to hear you a little bit better. So
right.
Maybe speak up a little bit because I'm just
gotcha. And then Nerd is coming back too. I think he had some issues with his mic, so he should be right back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he started to talk and there was no sound on his end, so then we thought maybe it wasn't a you thing.
Maybe it wasn't me. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Can you hear me okay now?
Oh, we hear you fine.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah. So what was I saying before? Anyways, yeah, Dawson's cool, and I'm glad that Dawson's coming out to visit us again.
Heck yeah.
I always love seeing Dawson. Dawson's just become a really good friend. So just like a lot of you, I can't wait till Austin and Bradley come out to visit me.
Oh yeah, dude, we're gonna have a blast.
Well, we're thinking about next year. Making a road trip, maybe out to you, and we have a friend.
We're not driving to you. There's no way
Indiana.
I'm driving.
Well, no,
to
but
Las
we would
Vegas.
fly. But no, and then we would go to our friend Tim in Indiana.
Right.
The Adam Copeland of Poindexter Lounge. Oh boy, that's funny. All right. Anyways, so yeah. Oh wait, hold on. I think they came back. Hold on. There he is. Okay.
I know. I was just about to talk X-Men.
Can you guys hear me now?
With him. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, my settings. Some reason my audio settings switched to my capture card for some reason.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So okay, so what you were gonna say something about X-Men '97?
I just wanted to rave about it with you. That's all.
Oh man, I don't know if Bradley or Enosh have watched any of it yet. I won't spoil it.
I think. Well, Bradley, as he said, he hasn't watched it. He might watch it. I don't know if he.
No.
I'd say give it a
shot.
Give it a shot.
No.
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 Jesus Christ.
Actually,
Okay.
you know what? I gotta say. So I've got to say, after talking about it for long enough here on the channel with everybody, I'm actually going to watch X-Men '97.
Yeah. See?
Shayna has convinced me. You all have convinced me. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Dude, of the 5 episodes that are out so far, there's only one mid episode. The rest are
filler episode. It's only the one filler episode. Otherwise, the 5 that I've dropped are just they're pretty good.
And they're intense. And I was telling Bradley, they're made for the adult audience of the animated show that came out in '97. They lean into the sexiness, the violence, the politicalness. They lean into it all. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it.
Yes, X-Men '97 is freaking amazing.
It rules.
Oh my god. This is what I've been wanting from X-Men for years. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I'm so freaking happy. I just spent over 20 years of this live-action X-Men garbage, and then we get this show, and I'm like, yes, this is X-Men. This is X-Men, bruh. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy.
I love it. DL coming in hype.
Yeah, I was gonna say DL's excited.
Right. But yeah, definitely check it out if you can. It's worth it.
That's right. Well, I plan on it. I definitely.
Enosh, we just lost your audio.
Did he cut out for you?
I know.
Oh, there you are. There you are. You're back. Yeah, you're back. No, it's not.
It was freaking out, and then it won't let me now. I give up. I just got to bring a headset. I'm done. And now it's back on again. It just makes no freaking sense. But okay.
Jeez.
Live streaming is amazing, ladies and gentlemen.
I know. It's what we're doing. We're doing it live. But I did want to get to this super chat. Thank you, Mark. It says watch Civil War. Or wait, hold on. What was it?
Civil War. He meant to say Civil War.
It is utterly terrible.
No, he's making a joke.
No. He corrected himself in the chat. Civil War. Sorry, he meant to say
Civil War. Making a joke about it.
No.
That's the first person I heard that said that it was bad.
Yeah, me too.
I've heard a lot of people say it's bad or good. It's very mixed right now. I've heard we had a friend today said that they cried the whole way through it, but they're emotional anyway. So.
Interesting. Well,
I'm interested to see it though.
Yeah, I'll probably see it at some point.
Well, as I said in my little precursor, before we jump into the Netflix stuff. Okay, sorry. Maybe I'm reveling too much in all that. I don't know. But I have something very interesting that I purchased this weekend. Something that I've wanted for a very, very long time, and that is this baby right here.
Look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Where's the blonde wig and a 8-pack ab suit? We need to put
I'm telling you, dude. That was the first thing that people started asking me is like, are you gonna cosplay as He-Man now? I'm like, you know what? With this sucker, I just might. But let me say, this thing weighs so much. This thing is super heavy. I mean, it's all real, and everything. But I mean, look at that. It's just, it's super heavy. The handle is made like the original show, so like the handle's not that long. Like the handle's kind of unusual for this sword, and so. I have such big hands. I mean, I wear a size 15 ring, so I'm huge. Like Dawson. Not as big as Dawson, but my hands are bigger than Dawson, I think. Stupid. Anyways.
Giants.
Giants. The land of giants. People meet Dawson and they start, forming like all kinds of, conspiracy theories like the Nephilim and stuff, There's a deep cut for you. There's
Damn.
Yeah. All right, but anyways, no. So I mean, like, look at this thing, man. Like, it's just, I love this sword. I've wanted this sword forever, and
these are the pictures Enosh used for his audition for Gladiator 2 for Ridley Scott.
So now that you have that sword,
actually, I was auditioning for whoever ends up making this He-Man movie one day. Like, you know, waiting my whole life. I've maintained this physique for 40 years, man, just for this. Right? Come on, you know.
so Enosh, now that you have the sword, do you have it?
Yes.
Do you have the power?
I do have the power. Yes, I do. But what does that mean? But you know what? See, so now I have the power sword and I have the sword of omens. So now I have the power and sight beyond sight.
And
that's too much power for one man to hold.
That's too much.
And I have Anakin's lightsaber and Luke's lightsaber and Darth Vader's lightsaber. I have more lightsabers than General Grievous ever thought about taking from somebody.
I think we have another Thanos situation.
Yeah, I
on
was about
our
to say,
hands.
let's get him in a Infinity Gauntlet to put all this
Yeah,
stuff
really.
on there.
Watch out,
That'd be
everybody.
cool. Make a gauntlet that you can put a bunch of lightsaber hilts all the way around and then just like hold it out.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be sweet. That'd be a cool lightsaber design. You know,
yeah.
like a glove that had like mini sabers.
Oh yeah, you'll be the star of Comic-Con, man.
Actually, you know what's funny is I found a cool like tan like jacket that had pockets on it, and I bought it. It was like $9 at Walmart, and I'm gonna make a couple little changes to it. But I plan on going to Comic-Con as Bespin Luke.
Nice.
Yeah, I found this jacket, and I mean, it's the perfect color. It had the flap kind of, you know, pockets on it and everything. And I looked at Shayna, and I'm like, I swear to God, that looks like Luke's jacket from Empire Strikes Back. And I'm like, all I need is some khakis with some pockets on it, and I'm good to go. Like, the most expensive thing that's going to cost me is probably figuring out like a gun holster, you know, for my Blast Tech D44.
Heck yeah.
That's what both Luke and Han carried in the movies, the Blast Tech D44. Or might be the DL44, actually. So, not to be confused, of course, with our panelist, DL. DL, not DL.
DL. Yeah, people call me DL in the chat. I'm like, well, I guess that's your way of abbreviating it.
But yeah, so we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about today. But I wanted to share my power sword with everyone. I have wanted that thing, man. I bought, if you guys remember, I bought a couple of years ago at Comic-Con. I bought a foam version of the power sword.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, that's super cool and everything. Don't get me wrong, I love it. You know, I mean, it's super cool. But you know, it's just not quite the same as a real just metal sword, especially when it's hanging up next to, you know, the Sword of Omens. You know, that is that. Sword.
And you can get the Han Solo holster and belt on Amazon, $30.
$30?
Well,
yeah, I was looking on
26,
eBay, but yeah.
$26.49, 50% off.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Thank you so much for shopping with me on Amazon. I did. You know what's funny? I did not check out Amazon. I went straight to eBay and was like,
yeah,
because I know a guy who does leather work too, and I kind of talked to him about it. So I was trying to see like if I was like in the right, you know, price range for like something custom. But given the fact that I'm only gonna really use it once, I think I might be down for that. Thank you so much for that. Shopping.
Thank you for promoting my job. I get royalties every time somebody says Amazon.
But yeah, we got an interesting story that's brewing. A couple interesting stories, both around Netflix. And I joked with Austin, this will probably be the cleanest thumbnail you'll ever see for Poindexter Lounge.
Actually, that's a nice thumbnail. I'm not gonna lie.
It is nice. Yeah, I like it.
Gets right to the point. You know. There you go. So.
All right. Netflix.
Yeah. So Netflix, man. Austin, tell us what's going on in the world of Netflix.
Yeah, some interesting news going on at Netflix. Obviously, as we all know, Netflix was just taken over with a new head to run specifically their films and studios, take a look at what they've been doing with their budgets and all of that. A lot of times, I know we all look at these Netflix movies and go, "Wow, that looks like a lot of money," and wonder how in the heck it's gonna make its money back. And I think that's an issue they've finally ran into. So they hired Dan Lin on April 1st, and he's already started making changes. He's laid off around 15 people in the creative film executive group, including one vice president and 2 directors. Netflix's entire film department, by the way, is around 150 people. He reorganized his film department by genre rather than budget level, and has indicated that Netflix is no longer only the home of expensive action flicks featuring big movie stars like The Gray Man, Red Notice, and more. Rather, Mr. Lin's mandate is to improve the quality of the movies and produce a wider spectrum of films at different budget levels. The better to appeal to the varied interests of Netflix 260 million subscribers. And now I have to find a different article because New York Times wants me to pay for it, and that ain't happening. Right. But in short, basically, he wants to focus more on the audience and less about the film auteurs. So that's been one kind of cool thing about Netflix. I will say, whether you agree with them, whether you like them or not, right? Netflix, Apple, some of these streaming services have given some of our greatest filmmakers a platform to make their movies, a la Martin Scorsese in The Irishman, David Fincher's last 2 films. These guys, and yeah, they're not cheap movies. Irishman was 200 million. I doubt, I expect Fincher's movies were probably high budgets as well, especially Mank. But that's the thing, right? These are movies that are definitely not guaranteed hits in theaters. Like, putting this much money into them and then putting them in theaters is a massive, massive risk. So Netflix has been the home of these types of movies, and now Dan Lin is coming out and saying, basically, we're not looking to be exactly that anymore. We're gonna focus more on what the audience want, not what we as Netflix want to give. And that's the other thing. Netflix has always said, we want to be the home of filmmakers, right? We want to be the home that filmmakers come to be able to make what they want without interference, without this and blah and yada yada. And so this is it's definitely an interesting take. They also said they've canceled Catherine Bigelow's next film, mind you, Academy Award winner Catherine Bigelow's Netflix. So that's a first sign of, if someone like her, and these other big directors are no longer going to be able to get their movies made at Netflix, it's going to be an interesting turn in the industry.
So it is, and you know what's interesting about this is that, because I was literally just thinking this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I've had Netflix forever, right? Like, there was a time when Netflix first started streaming, like, I didn't jump in right away because I had Netflix back in the day when you got the DVDs and you sent them back,
right?
And you got them mailed to you and all that stuff, right? And so, like, I wasn't so sold on streaming right away. But then, what actually propelled me into streaming was, now that I think about it, was Stranger Things, because we had not watched the first season of Stranger Things, and everybody that I knew told me that I would love it, but I was like, I'm not going to get back into Netflix. I don't need to do that. Most of the movies that I see first run in the theater, and, like, anything else, we had video stores, so it was like, I don't really care. So, but when Stranger Things 2 was coming out, we rented Stranger Things 1 from our video store, and then Stranger Things 2 was coming out the next day. I immediately went home, and I immediately signed up for Netflix. And so I've had Netflix ever since, right? Ever since the day before Stranger Things 2 came out. I say that because last night, now I get Netflix free through my mobile carrier, right? And I was thinking about this just yesterday. I was looking for something to watch on Netflix. And there's a lot of stuff on Netflix, but I find more and more there's less rewatchable stuff on Netflix. And it just seems like now Netflix is just like this dumping ground of stuff that I'm not interested in at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, like, if I was paying for this, I think I would be a little upset, because I don't feel that there's not a lot of properties. I mean, now mind you, I say that, But look, when the Masters of the Universe animated, Revolution and Revelation were out, I was all about Netflix. So I can't really say that like I'm just not about Netflix, but it seems like the Netflix thing for me kind of comes and goes depending upon the show.
And same with the movie. Yeah, I mean, and even Netflix has ever since its debut, really, Netflix has done very well at things like the Oscars, things with critics and stuff like that. They and yeah, exactly. And that's what people literally joke about that. We all joke about that.
Right.
You end up falling asleep looking for something before you end up actually finding something.
It's the Cheesecake Factory of streaming services.
Right. But that is to say, like, I think outside of their original content, they've got a pretty wide library. They're home to to a lot of Sony stuff, the animated Spider-Verse movies, those types of things. Like, they get a pretty diverse library of films from different studios and that type of thing too. That keeps them, same with their shows. They pick up a lot of very popular older shows and stuff that, kind of keep it going and stuff like that. The issue is with their shows, they need to find some way, whether it's getting rid of the binge model for shows or, just finding some way to make these movies and these shows last a little longer. Quality is definitely a big part of it, right? Their whole thought was Red Notice and The Gray Man. We'll get all the biggest action stars. All the biggest stars are going to be Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans. And the movies were shit. Like, they were cool action sequences, but the stories were laughable. It was cringe, actually, and it's like a studio wouldn't have released this because it was that, so they need to find that there. They need to focus on quality a little bit. But it does, like I said, it does make me fear for the people like Fincher or like Scorsese or like some of these other people who do make good quality stuff, consistently, but maybe caught in the mix of this whole mess.
Sheree, this is why a lot of people keep Netflix around, because they do have a pretty good collection of anime and animated series. So, I mean, a lot of people keep them around just for that. And Integrity, I totally get what you're saying with this, because, this is streaming services in general. It's just hard to find stuff. I mean, you go looking for something, and there's no... It's weird, because you even search for something on a lot of streaming services, and it will still pull up, because sometimes they come in and go out or whatever, but it's like, you spend all this time trying to find this one thing, and then it's like, it's there, but we don't have it. Like, what?
Yeah, they need organizers like what Disney Plus and Max do. Like, they have categories for specific things, so it's easier for you to find stuff, or alphabetize some stuff. Well, they kind of do that, but it's not like at the forefront like Disney Plus and Max. I think the way they organize their services, it's very easy to access. It's very easy to, go through that stuff and figure out what you want to watch. But like I just said,
I think Max has done a good job too. I'm sorry, I didn't mean a good job.
Yeah.
But Max has done a pretty good job too of because they've got because some of these streaming services like Max or like Peacock, for example, or others, Disney, all of them pretty much have these different IPs, right, that they have identified. And so what sucked about Max for the longest time was you couldn't get to the DC section without either, at least on the television version, like I'm looking at it through Roku or whatever, but you could not just get to the DC section easily. Like, you had to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and then there were many times that, like, I would just try to go over to the side and go to search, and, like, search wouldn't work for stuff. And I'm like, seriously, but now they've got a pretty good band of, like, the IPs, like, in the middle, towards the middle or whatever, so it's not so aggravating. And that's my thing. It's like, when I sit down to watch a streaming service, the last thing that I want to do is sit there and fight with the app to just find something to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the main two issues that Netflix has is marketing and overspending on budgets.
Yeah.
They don't market crap unless their big releases like Stranger Things and stuff like that. So for people that are trying to figure out, because this is still an issue today, people don't know what's on Netflix. And it's like, unless it's like those big releases, you're not gonna know unless you just go through the app and just search forever in this bottomless pit of content. So they need to do a better job marketing their stuff. Do they have to market everything on the streaming service? No, but I know there's more content on there that they could be pushing, because they'll push the guilty pleasure trashy reality show stuff, but they will barely market their animated stuff unless it's like stuff like
Whoa. Guilty pleasure reality. Jersey Shore all the way. Let's do this.
Good for you. I'm not a Jersey Shore fan, but to be fair, I watch Love Is Blinded. I know it's not a good show, but I enjoy watching it. My girlfriend sitting down and watching.
Next thing we know, Austin's gonna be all like, "I love that show about little people who fall in love." Like.
Yeah, I know. It is trashy. It is like me and my girlfriend.
Anyways, I'm gonna go now.
But anyway, the other issue is
Bradley's having a pretty good talk with Austin later. Like what's all this little people talk all of a sudden, Austin?
I've seen it on our Hulu.
But yeah, they're also spending too much on their movies, and like. I do respect Netflix for letting these filmmakers, have full creative control on their projects. This is the one place where they don't have a lot of studio interference. They'll see their full vision. I respect that. However, you can't be spending $200 million on all these movies because, for one thing, you don't give them theatrical releases. So it's going to be a difficult time getting that money back. And also, going back to the issue of they don't market their stuff. Like when The Gray Man came out, when Red Notice came out, they didn't do a good job marketing those movies. You knew they were coming out, but as far as selling them on what the movie was about or whatever, they didn't do a good job of that. So you're not going to expect people to just go and watch it immediately. And
let's be honest, they didn't look very good. They looked very generic.
They did.
Both of them looked very generic. And I admit, Sri, but they do have good action movies. I think The Old Guard is really good. I love the Extraction movies, and so they do have good stuff on it. It's just like you said, their marketing. I think they've taken a step in the right direction with ever since I think the pandemic. They started doing the Geeked Week, thing, trying to promote, their stuff and all of that. But they've really got to. I think honestly, a big problem too is now, especially in the last 2 years, they've really become anti-theaters. They used to, especially for some of their bigger releases, at least release them for a week or two. Even Army of the Dead was in theaters for a week before it was on Netflix.
Freaking Glass Onion too as well. They had
Glass Onion,
and then that was a big hit when it came to Netflix. I've heard before, because people talk about you should at least give some of these movies a limited theatrical release, and then they do better on the streaming service.
Let it have that, because then you give it a literal week of an exclusive large amount of people talking about it. It's going to be you're extending that time frame of people talking about for whatever amount. Netflix needs it at this point. But last year was damn near impossible to find. I wanted to go see David Fincher's The Killer in theaters last year in hopes that, and it was only playing in New York and LA for a few days, and then it was out of theater. So they've really taken a step back on their theatrical release. I mean, Rebel Moon is another one that, as much as I didn't like it, even that would have done better with a week probably theatrical release.
I don't
I'm
think it would have.
I'm surprised they didn't do that with Rebel Moon. I didn't like it.
I don't think that would have
because here's the thing. As much as I disagree, I don't like it and blah blah blah. Right.
Yeah.
All the Snyder fans would have gone to see it. All of them would have raved about it. It would have been,
No, they wouldn't. They still haven't watched it. They still haven't watched it.
You're not missing anything.
I'm sorry,
for the
but
ones that have.
Hold on just 1 second, because I'm going to say this, and you know what? I don't care who hears me. You know what? Forget this, right? Listen.
Rant.
You all know where I stand on the Snyderverse. I would love for Zack Snyder to finish his vision. I love nothing more than that. I love that version of those characters. But here's the thing. For God's sake, people don't support Zack. They talk about Zack. They make money off of Zack. They do videos on Zack. They act like they know Zack when they have passed by Zack in a bathroom I don't know what. Anyways, my point is, they don't go to support Zack's stuff. They don't go. They wouldn't have gone to go see Rebel Moon because half of them didn't even watch it. Half of them didn't watch it. They don't support Zack's other stuff. All they want to see is Zack's DC stuff. They act like nothing else exists. How is it that you go to buy a book about Rebel Moon from this man, and all you ask him, all you say, all you even bring up is, if you could make Rebel Moon or your DC thing, and would you do it this way? You are not a journalist. You are not somebody who even has put time into what to freaking ask a director the caliber of Zack Snyder. Because yes, I'm not harping on Zack. I'm not even harping on his fandom. I'm harping on these stupid people who act like they're something that they're not. You wouldn't even know how to ask a professional question of a director like that if faced with you're being in a corner. Because I don't want to say anything else because, we might get demonetized, right?
Well, people spend too much time on YouTube.
But the point is, you don't really care about Zack. No, I'm not talking about you, bro. Listen, Triton, I love you, man. I don't know what the deal is. Triton, listen, you all in the chat, get along. I love you all.
Play nice.
But, here's the thing. I'm here for both Snyder fans and non-Snyder fans. I don't care what you're a fan of or what you're not a fan of. Just get along. That's the whole point, right? The Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. People start making it about all this other stuff, but I'm telling you, nothing that I say, Triton, should offend you as a Snyder fan. Nothing, because I am not saying anything offensive towards Zack or towards his properties. I am saying things about his crazy freaking fans. Because you know what? There are crazy Snyder fans. There are crazy James Gunn fans. There are crazy everything fans, for God's sake. And none of them will keep their mouths shut.
Yeah.
None of them will stop. They all think they're better than the other people. And I swear to God, I was talking with somebody about it today. I'm sick of seeing Snyder fans say things like, well, they did it to us. They talked this way to us. Are you 12?
Yeah, let's fight fire with fire, because that's how that works.
Oh yeah, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, right? Bullshit! I'm so sick of it. No, it does not give you carte blanche to just go after other people and say horrible things about people and deride everything that they're doing, with the movies coming out and everything else, making up lie after lie after lie after lie. You didn't like it when they did it about Snyder. What makes you think you can do it and it's okay with other directors or other people? Call what's wrong, but stop with being disingenuous, with lying, with literally making stuff up. I am so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of seeing it in my feeds. I'm sick of seeing it in people's messages towards me. I'm sick of watching people. I'm sick of people acting to me because I have a rational brain and because I say something like, hey, this article was not true. So probably we probably shouldn't use, I even put myself in the thing of hey, I'm a Snyder fan, right? So I don't want non-Snyder fans to look at something that a Snyder fan posts as if it was real, to be able to turn it around on the fandom that I consider myself a part of. Because I agree with you all. There are people who are James Gunn fans who are absolute jerkwads, okay? And that's all they live for, is to go online and mock Snyder fans or mock Zack Snyder himself. I get it. But doing it back to them doesn't make you any better. You should rise above it. And asking Zack stupid questions is just I'm sick of it. It's like nobody's got a freaking new question for these people. No one's got a new question for Zack. It's like they don't know what to ask Zack anymore because Zack hasn't told them anything different. So they literally want to try to make a narrative where, Zack said he would do it if they do this. Well, Zack has already said if it happened, but it's not happening.
Yeah, at this point, people just are repeating the same things over and over again.
I love all the stuff you sent me, buddy. Titan, I love all the stuff you send me, buddy. You are my friend. You're my friend. Like, that's the thing, right? Like, I try to treat people with respect. I try to treat people with love, and I try to treat people with truth. And a lot of what I see out there is not truth. And look, I know we're not going to solve the fandom problem here at the Poindexter Lounge. I get that. But also, I haven't ranted a little bit on something like that, and I'm just being honest with you. I'm so sick of it. It almost makes me and other people just not even want to talk about these things, because you can't talk about some of this stuff without people just losing their minds and acting insane about it. So
yeah, I've been feeling that way too. I was dreading when I was doing the Rebel Moon review. I'm like, oh, here comes the people. And like, it don't matter what I say, like they are going to be upset. So it's just like,
right. And with that, I'm going to put some oil in my car. I'll be right back.
But yeah, getting back to the point of the matter of Netflix. So like I said, like I do think they can still. I think they could spend $200 on certain projects if they marketed it properly and like push it as a big movie. But as far as like little, like they should manage their budgets more. Like there's some movies on Netflix that I'm surprised they're over $100 million. Like it looks like a lower budget movie, but they put so much money to it. Like that should not happen. Like Marvel's going through a similar thing too. They're spending $200 million on stuff that they shouldn't be. But that would definitely help them to prevent them from going into debt. And I do agree with you that they should start to get away from the binge model because, you know, as I said, like you see how successful other shows are, like on Disney Plus, when they're airing stuff weekly and people talk about it more and stuff like that. So they should do that. I think they slowly do that. You know, for certain like big releases, they should drop the binge model. But maybe for small releases, you can still keep it there for certain ones. But
sure, or something, or for example, if something you want to test, right? Something like if it's an original show or something you want to see how it's gonna be, people are gonna react. You can release your first. I think that's probably what they're gonna do with Fallout, right? They released the first season all in one bunch. It's gotten great reactions. Next season will probably be released week by week. I think they even did that with The Boys. I think The Boys
They did that. They did that with The Boys, and I believe they did that with Invincible.
They dropped the first season all at once, and then, which I think now that's an interesting model, right? That tells you it's a great, you know, it tells you there's a lot of interest in this. We want more, blah blah blah, and then you come back with that second season with the week by week model, extending people's interest in it even more, and so that, you know, I think that's fine if you want to try that with original, you know, really original content, and you want to see if it will continue or get any interest. But I mean, look, it's definitely, it's interesting, right? Because this could mean danger for definitely somebody like Zack Snider, you know, right? Where, you know, I think probably right now Netflix, looking at numbers and things like that, would be more interested in his Army of the Dead universe than they would be with the Rebel Moon universe. Now, granted, Rebel Moon 2 comes out this week and all that, so we'll see where the numbers
foot on that one, because they shouldn't have even done this version that they released.
Well, that and the way, I mean, this is the thing. It's just the stuff that just keeps coming out about it, and that, like, even as a Snyder fan, it's becoming harder and harder to defend the guy, you know, and so
yeah. But at this point, like, I'm almost this. Rebel Moon broke me, man. I'm just like, I was so excited for it, and it's just like, I love the majority of Snyder's stuff, but it feels like his aura is starting to fade away for me, and it pains me to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's understandable, I think, too, with especially the way things have gone the last few years and stuff. And, you know, I understand it. I don't fault anybody that is upset or, you know, frustrated with this whole cut thing and all that. You know, he came out the other day, talked about, what is it, Sucker Punch, and, you know, people were just like, really, dude?
Well,
like, really? Like, that's at the point. We're not even at the point of anger or frustration or anything. It's just like, really?
Well, I believe he talked about that a couple years ago.
He's been talking about it for years, but it's just like, you know, at this point, we're now at the point where 2 of his films in his entire filmography, I'm sorry, 3 of his films in his entire filmography don't have a extended extended cut or director's cut or a cut of some sort. And so I think, you know, and most of those cuts being the better versions of the film, you know, it's not a good reputation at this point.
Well, I just don't think it's a good gimmick. Turning your whole director cut fiasco that went on for like over 4 or 5 years into kind of a gimmick for your career. I just don't think it's a good look, to be honest. That's just my outlook on it.
I agree, but I think that was more Netflix, you know, thinking that
I don't care who did it. I don't care if it was Zach's decision. I don't care if it was Netflix. It's a bad decision.
That's where Zach should have put his foot down. Zach should have put his foot down, and he said
he entertained the idea though.
He entertained it because he said, look, in the way that he's worked with studios in past years, right? It's a give and take. So he's willing to play their game as long as they're willing to play his.
And that's fine.
And I understand, like, on paper in the beginning, it all seemed and sounded well and all that type of stuff. It backfired horribly. And that's the thing is, yeah, he, at that point, you know, especially, you know, after all these movies, his reputation, all that type of stuff, the last thing that people want is a quote unquote, like, studio cut of a Zack Snider movie.
Why is there a studio cut for Netflix? That's what pisses me off the most.
Exactly.
He should be able to do whatever the hell he wants. He did it for Army of the Dead, so why couldn't he do it with Rebel Moon? And you did not do a wide theatrical release for this movie, so there's no reason for you to do a PG-13 cut.
Well, I don't fault them. I don't fault them for not doing the wide theatrical release because I just don't like I said. I don't think it would have made the money they wanted or it needed to make, especially with that high budget.
It wouldn't have made much, really but a weak theatrical release, I think, would have helped the traction on Netflix. That's all.
Not much, but no.
Hey, they'll take anything. Studios will take anything at these nowadays. But it's just like the fact that Netflix, like, once again, they did not do a theatrical release for this movie, and it's a streaming service. Why did they feel the need to cut the movie down to be quote unquote family friendly? The PG-13's not even family friendly. There's still dark stuff in the movie. So, like, there was no point of them doing that.
What annoys me is the fact that he was like, "Oh yeah, these cuts are like alternate universe versions of these theatrical cuts." I'm like, so why would I spend time watching the theatrical part 2 if none of it even, you know, coincides with the actual quote unquote version of the film that is supposed to be seen? So, like, I have no interest in watching theatrical part 2, and I won't.
And now he's telling us he's using alternate versions of the scene for the new version for the director's cut. You know, so there's different line deliveries, different this, different that. So yeah, it's just really getting
there's a grape scene, which I don't know why that's necessary, but okay.
It's just getting to a point where it's like, again, you know, and integrity. I get what you're saying, you know, double dipping and blah blah blah. I don't think that's necessarily what he wanted, Zach. He's talked about. That's where he really talked about on Joe Rogan, was that they came to me. They said, we want to do, you know, because he presented them with the whole Rubber Moon script, and they said, cool, we'll let you do it. Can you do like a PG-13 version? He said yes, but and that's where I'm saying, like, he did it to play their game. He did it because that's what he's been doing with studios for the last 10 or 15 years. That's where I'm saying I think he should have put his foot down and gone, no, you know, the gimmick's up. That whole thing is over. Let me make. They didn't do it with Army of the Dead. They didn't do it. You know, they let him make the movie that he wanted to make. You know, the gimmick's over. It's done. It's tiring, and at this point, it's just. And it's not like Zach's the only one. Do you think people are happy every time Ridley Scott releases a director's cut that's better than the theatrical, or some of these other directors? Like, people aren't necessarily like rooting for, you know, a shit version first and a better version later, you know, like.
Yeah, if the theatrical version is bad, why would I want to see an extended version of that?
Well, like RJ said, made a great point in the chat. Once you start saying that these cuts are alternate universes, the general audience or people outside of Snyder's fans are like, nope. No thanks.
Or like you're not gonna have people watch the theatrical version if you're telling me there's an alternative version that's completely different from what we're releasing the first time. That's not good business. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah. Well, the main thing I have a problem with Netflix, and like to get back on track with the whole topic, you know, I don't know if it's just me. I'm sure this is a generalized opinion, but I don't pay attention to their shit. I don't pay attention to their original shows unless it's a big IP like Stranger Things or something like that. And I think Stranger Things would honestly benefit from a week-to-week release schedule. That way it's talked about way longer than it is. Because I like the last season. I think it was a good last season. But notice how nobody is talking about it anymore and barely talking about it.
Right. It's very
it went away like 2 weeks out. The same thing is going to happen with Fallout. Now, I don't blame Amazon for Fallout because I think they're experimenting with Fallout. I'm sure next season will be a week-to-week like The Boys did.
I guarantee you Fallout's going to become a staple show for Amazon.
Yeah, exactly. And they were putting a lot of their bets on this show to be one of their staples for their platform. And I think that's smart, the way they released it. Not everything at Netflix should be that way in terms of releasing, because it just doesn't warrant it. Like, you can dump some shit that doesn't need to be, released week to week. But stuff like Stranger Things or bigger shows like that, that are staples for Netflix would have a longer longevity if they were released week to week. And I think people would care more. And that way, you get more subscribers if there's more buzz and talk about it.
Yeah. Well, and like you said too, a lot of Netflix, a lot of the shows Netflix, right, tries to make their next staple show. It doesn't work.
Well, Squid Game also. I just thought of Squid
Game. Okay, right. It's been the last one since Squid Game. They've had to cancel their anime shows, most of them, besides One Punch and Avatar are now getting second seasons, not One Punch, One Piece.
One Piece.
But I mean, even with their new show, Three Body Problem, which I watched, and I liked. It was a good show. It has some issues, but it sets itself up for a really good second season. But even that is that's supposed to be their next big show. It's from the creators of Game of Thrones. It's got this and that, and I don't see anybody talking about it. I don't see anybody.
No joke. One of the biggest things on Netflix right now, other than Stranger Things and Squid Game, is Love Is Blind.
Yeah. Or Love on the Spectrum, or those types of shows. Yeah. Oh, we can't hear you, Enosh. We can't hear you. Nope. I read your lips, so you said you can't hear me, and I was like, oh, nope. Nothing.
No, well, not only that, but you have things like Too Hot to Handle as well that they release half a chunk of it a week, or I don't know, however long they do.
Oh yeah. That's right. They some of their shows they do have weekly models for, which is interesting.
Yeah. Oh, Blue Jay, I forgot about Arcane. Arcane was great, but nobody talks about it anymore.
Well, I think something interesting too, that kind of, I know a lot of people are agreeing with this, but Amazon kind of shit the bed with this new season of Invincible, in my opinion. The first half,
100%.
The first half wasn't that engaging. It just wasn't that interesting, and they decided to. I don't know if there was some production issues they had. They weren't finished because some of the animation did not look that well in the last half of the season. I don't know if anyone else picked up on that, but it just didn't look as good.
Well, I thought the animation in the first season wasn't that great in places either. So it felt consistent with the not great animation, but it does enough to get the point across.
Yeah.
But or they put the detail in the very important moments. But when they're just
very true
standing around and talking, they even made a joke in what was it?
That was great.
Yeah, I love that joke. They talked about how the animation is bad, and they cut quarters they put in the story. That was clever.
Right.
But no, I think it killed the momentum of it, to be honest.
So it sounds like you guys moved on to the whole.
We're talking about kind of what the XMen 97 guy said, the binge model and that type
so,
of thing.
So you know what's funny about that is, so I remember a couple years ago streaming, and I said that as much as I love the whole binging idea, binging does not make any sense for these streaming services.
Right.
No.
As far as like if they want to maintain people, retain viewers, retain subscribers, there was plenty of people who would, they would wait till till the show that they liked would, come back on, and they would, get either they'd use some other email or something like that as a free trial or whatever. And it was ridiculous. And I said, like, look, as a consumer, yeah, I love to be able to sit and binge watch something, right? I love to be able to sit when I sat down for season 2 of Stranger Things and season 3 of Stranger Things and season 4 of Stranger Things and be able to watch all of that. And that works sometimes. But it worked. You mentioned Squid Game a minute ago, right? Like, so for like a show like Squid Game, it happened to work. And I think that with like something like Squid Game, that almost helped it being able to binge it, because if that would have been week to week, it may not have caught on. Yeah. But that being said, more times out of any, it's going to be better for a streaming service to show episodes weekly. It just is. It maintains, I have not understood this idea of just binging it all from their perspective, because from our perspective, it's great. We could just, we got done with one episode, we just watch the next episode, but it creates absolutely no discussion. It creates absolutely no talk. I remember when season 3 of Stranger Things came out, we were super excited for it. We were hyping it up. Man, could not wait to watch it. Everybody binged it over the weekend, and then nobody talked about it again.
I think it was Netflix at the time was trying to do something different and like appeal to like the instant gratification for audiences. So, at the time it wasn't like a problem for them financially because they were the first ones to do it. But like as you said, like the biggest problem nowadays with streaming is churning. Because people will subscribe to a service for like maybe a month or less so they can watch their shows, and then when especially if they're shows that you're able to binge, you finish in like a day, and then you can just cancel your subscriptions. So not only will it help keep the conversation going weekly, like we're doing with XMen 97, because people are going crazy still for XMen 97, but also avoiding mitigating the risk of people churning, because that's one of the main issues that streaming services are doing nowadays. But as far as
and this is like anything where there's build up to. I mean, like I was just talking about this to somebody yesterday about like even like wrestling, right? Like you can have like we just watched WrestleMania, right? And Cody Rhodes was chasing the title, and now he has the title. So now it's on them to give us something that's interesting. Right. We were all there for the chase, but now you got to give us something interesting. And I think that in a lot of ways, it's that too with streaming, because they give us the chase. It's like hey, this is what we're going to show you. This is what we're going to show you. And I see a lot of different people talking about like Cobra Kai love, and
I'm glad I can binge Cobra Kai because
Cobra Kai.
I love Cobra Kai,
I'm just saying
the pacing is like up and down.
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet, but I will just say this: Cobra Kai or anything else for that matter, it doesn't really matter. It's about like we're going to see an issue if these streaming services aren't able to make money.
Yeah.
Right. And I say that, and I know the first thing's going to be back. Oh, they're making tons of money. Yeah, they're making tons of money. But if you expect them to spend money on these properties that you all want, like something's got to change, because that way of thinking of like, well, we'll just put this show out. If a show has 8 episodes and you put out all 8 episodes in one day, people are going to watch it. If they've been looking for it, if it's a show that they like, or if they discover it, they're going to watch it all. The problem is you're still at the beginning of the month. You got a whole month, right? If you put those shows one every week, now you have 2 months worth of content. You have 2 months worth of discussion. You have 2 months worth of build-up. You have 2 months worth of subscriber. Like,
yeah.
But I get it. We'll say, but we'll just wait. Well, then that's on you. Then I guess I don't know. I mean, I don't know
It's your
what.
decision. It's like I mean, the thing. That are,
But like the point I want to make is like Netflix or any other streaming service who goes to that, they're not evil. They're not evil because they just want money. Well, duh. It takes money.
Every corporation ever made.
I'm so sick of this generation that's come up now that all of a sudden it's like they act like money doesn't matter. Money does matter. Like I'm sorry, but the people working at Netflix don't go to work every day. Money matters money doesn't matter until it's you. Because the thing is, the people at Netflix that are going to work every day, they're not going to work there for a charity. Okay? They're not going to work there to just help out humanity. That's not what they're going to work for. Just like you don't go to work at Starbucks because you like the environment. No. You go to work because you got to work and you got to make money. And that's the problem. You got all these people looking around now at all these big corporations and all these people, and they're like, oh, they're just about the money. That's why they exist. They don't exist for any other purpose but to make money from you or somebody like you. Mm-hmm. That's how the world works. Like
now, it's the people behind the cameras that are making it that care, not the corporations, not the studio. The people that actually care about the IP or whatever they're adapting or making for themselves for the world to see. Those are the people that care, not the suits in these offices. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about anyone of our opinions either. They care about money and money alone.
Yeah, that's
I'm just telling you, people do. Yes, I do believe that there are directors and that there are actors and stuff like that who do care about the properties they're a part of. But you know what I see more and more? They don't care either. It's a job, and that's the thing. It's like I'm sorry, I've seen way too many actors recently. Like if something didn't go their way, all of a sudden they were willing to throw everybody else under the bus. Because it's just a job. It doesn't matter to them that like you see these people get cast in like these dream roles, right? They're like back in the day, man, if you were cast in Star Wars, you were super excited. Now people act like, oh, Star Wars, that's beneath me. A comic book movie, even though comic book movies are making the most money of any movies right now, right? But yet people will act like that movie's beneath them.
It kills the industry. It kills movie theaters. Yeah, sure.
It's theme park rides, man.
Well, I mean, there is a different segment of actors. You have actors that actually care about what they're doing, and then you have actors like Pablo Schreiber, who have no idea what they're doing and what they're adapting and what they're effing saying about Halo and Master fucking Chief.
And
they have no idea what the fuck they're doing and saying, but they keep putting their fucking foot in their mouths and talking down to the fans like they're idiots because the fans don't matter and
they're somehow doing something better than the games have already done.
No, they just twist everything. 100 no, that show is a 2-pack of.
Whereas, I understand what you're saying. Like, look, was it Timothy Chalamet came out a while ago, right? It was like the advice that he got from Leonardo DiCaprio and some of the other big actors in the industry was no drugs and no superhero movies. But he came out later and said, if it's a script and story I really like, of course I'd do a superhero movie.
He changed his mind. Yeah, like he changed his mind.
He didn't change his mind. He did, but I also understand where those guys there are good.
Somebody said to him, maybe his agent or somebody said, "Hey Timothy, shut up."
Fact, money is money.
You got people like Academy Award winners out here who are doing superhero movies who are making $20-25 million a picture.
Sure.
Shut up.
Yeah, you're over here being Willy Wonka. You're over here being Willy Wonka. So no,
you're being Willy Wonka, and you got extension by Warner Brothers.
No, I like Wonka. But I'm just saying.
Willy Wonka made him $500 million. So it's for a Wonka
Did it really make that much?
Deal. It made $500 million worldwide.
I'm not trusting on Wonka. I liked Wonka, but I'm just saying for you to say that for him to even think like being.
And he wasn't saying it derogatory. He was just saying he said he's like I asked like Leonardo DiCaprio, "What's your advice?" Because DiCaprio's his idol or whatever, and that's what DiCaprio told him. And
even though he was gonna play the Riddler in the Dark Knight Rises. But sure.
Oh God.
That was never gonna happen.
Yeah, he was gonna play the Riddler in Dark Knight Rises before he passed away.
But even then, right? Like, and even then, I think DiCaprio would still do or would have done a superhero movie if the script were that great. Like, look, that's what they're saying, right? If Christopher Nolan would have offered DiCaprio a part in The Dark Knight, he would have taken it. You know,
absolutely.
Bro, The Dark Knight has a ton of Academy Award winners.
There was a moment when they had just announced that Joker was being made, and the big news was Todd Phillips is directing, but Martin Scorsese is the executive producer, and DiCaprio was being looked at.
I would have hated
considered
that.
as Arthur Fleck.
Oh, that would have been nice.
And that was simply because Martin Scorsese was involved, right? So that's just the way that some of these actors go. Like, yeah, you get a really prominent director behind one of these movies, sure, then you'll convince somebody like DiCaprio or Denzel Washington or those types of people
I think it comes down to the writing.
Exactly, that and the writing.
Yeah.
That and the writing, I think, are massive factors behind it.
Do you guys see this news that Antonio's talking about here? That Disney Plus is changing its look so that it's more of a like old school channel flipping.
Maybe I think similar to
I don't
Pluto,
understand
like
that.
similar to Pluto, something like that. Yeah.
That's because you're a youngin', DL.
So what
there used to be this thing called the remote control that you used for more than just punching
using
in
TV,
what streaming service you wanted to watch. You could actually, and it was before like television nowadays, where like you literally can't flip through channels. You want to hear something really funny? This is pretty hilarious to me, and this is relevant, so I'm going to share it. So, one of the things asked for in my separation was a board game that I still can't find because I haven't seen in years. That is like you were supposed to flip through channels, you know, and like find stuff. Like they'd be like, you know, it'd be like find a waitress, right? So you flip through the channels real quick until somebody saw a waitress. Somebody go waitress, and you stop and go, okay, we got that one, and you try to, but it was flipping. I think it was called like channel flipping or something like that. And I was like, what? Like, really? Like, you want that? You can't even do that anymore. Like, we've got cable, and you can't just go from one channel to the next because each channel has to load now because it's HD and it's all this stuff. And it's like, it just cracks me up because you can't do that anymore. And, but and this person wanted the game, and good riddance. But I think about that with that, though. I mean, that's actually a cool thing for me. Like, channel surfing was a huge deal for me growing up, man. It was just like, it was a badge of honor to be able to go through it fast like that.
And just for the record, I'm not that young. I remember going to my grandma's TV, having to go up to the TV and press the buttons on the TV.
Press the button, man. We had
press
to turn
the button. Oh
press the
my
button,
God.
man. I had to turn the no. I had to turn the dial.
Yes!
There was no buttons to be pushed. It was a loud clicking dial.
I used to get yelled at by my grandmother because of that. Because I would go
and all that right there only got him to the second channel. That's all I got him to.
Right.
All that turning,
only got him to channel 2. And you only had 3 channels.
Yep. Well, don't forget UHF.
Because while one person's turning the dial, the other sibling's holding up the antenna just the right way to get the reception.
Don't move.
Wait, it's right there. It's perfect. Stay right there.
Get some tinfoil. Right now.
Man, like,
cool for
I had the VH player and everything, but you probably had cassette tapes, so whatever. But
I did have cassette tapes. We used to make mixes on cassette tapes. You had to wait for the song to come on the radio. Then you had to hurry up and hit record to catch the song.
Hey DL, this is just for you, bro. And it's hilarious that I've got this in the car right now. Okay. This is my uncle's. So my uncle found an audio cassette of my grandmother's. I haven't really. I've alluded to it in the past, but my grandmother, I was born in Vegas. My grandma lived out in Vegas. My grandma managed entertainment out in Vegas. My grandmother was an entertainer in Vegas herself. Like she sang at the casinos and stuff like that. And so the funny thing is my grandma recorded this album. Well, it was more like an EP of songs that she had written, and she did it with Bobby Darin's band. And my uncle found it, and he's like, "Hey, do you have a cassette player?" And I'm like, Yeah, I've got an old stereo at home that I use to digitize, tapes and stuff, because I still got a bunch of tapes, old tapes of mine, and band stuff, that when I get time I still digitize. He's like, "Well, take this just in case. Can you use this?"
I'm sure
That
half the
kid's-
panel doesn't even know what this is.
I know. This kid's is what's called a Walkman radio. Notice it does have the radio up at the top there, with the dials and everything.
Yep.
And, yep. And so it's got a headphone jack there, so I could absolutely run it out and into my system to be able to digitize it. But yeah.
And batteries were not included. We had to buy them separately.
Oh, heck yeah. And there was
Oh, it was expensive.
In fact, there is a power supply there, but I don't know anybody, nerd Cosa Nostra, who ever had a power supply for your walk.
I never
the whole
did.
point,
Well, yeah,
the whole
why
point
would
was
you
you're
use
supposed to take it
batteries?
out.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, just happens to be in the car with me right now as we're talking about.
Of course. I'm just wondering how it's going to look if they're going to do that old model thing for Disney Plus. How would that look exactly?
I think it'll pretty much be like Pluto. Like it has different sections for old classic movies and TV shows and stuff like that, and live TV as well. So probably similar to that, I guess. So I don't mind.
Again, Triton, I've got my original. I've got a beat up original that's not fully there, and I've got two versions of the re-released version that they just released a couple of years ago. They're still releasing Soundwave.
They're also re-releasing the Megatron pistol.
Oh, now that I will be on.
They are re-releasing that.
Oh yeah.
That I would try to get in on, and I'll tell you why. Because I had Megatron when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I had that Megatron. Grandma bought me that Megatron in 1984 when I was 8 years old, and an 8-year-old had no business having that toy.
You said 1958? I'm sorry.
It was not fun to play with. It didn't look like Megatron. The only way that it was fun to play with was in its gun mode, because it was a gun. It was a Walter P-38, right?
Yeah.
And but yeah, I would jump on a Megatron now all day long. I mean that action figure now,
those are expensive. Even loose without the box, they're expensive.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are for sure, man. But
vintage toys are expensive.
I don't know why they're re-releasing Soundwave though. He just said that they're releasing an Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime I can understand, because there's always people who want an original.
Optimus Prime is popular.
But Soundwave,
I don't know. There's a difference between a re-release toy that looks like the original and the original. To me, I'd rather have the original. One. That's just me though.
No, I get that. There are a couple things though that, honestly, one of my Soundwaves, for example, because I've got 3 Soundwaves. I found one in a dollar bin, like I said, that was kind of beat up and wasn't all there. It's missing actually it's just missing the front cassette holder thing. And then I've got my original that I've had since I was a kid. And then I picked up the re-release because I liked the box, because it looked like the original box, and everything. And so, and I kind of display that one with it, and then I actually got I have a Rodimus Prime, because I've got my original Optimus Prime, and I've got a Rodimus Prime. And a few years ago they had Hot Rod. They re-released Hot Rod. And so I bought Hot Rod to display next to my Rodimus Prime, so it's I would rather have the original. But
you should check out, there's a channel called Toy Federation. I don't know if you've heard of it. I don't know where he's located, but I've never seen a guy he has his own store, so knowledgeable about every classic toy you can think of, going as far back as probably the 40s and 50s.
Oh hell no!
I mean, his knowledge is insane on these toys. I mean, as far as down to what character has what, the old G.I. Joes, what character should have what gun. This old Star Wars figures, which one should have this accessory versus that accessory. I mean,
you'd be surprised, Nerd Cosa Nostra, because there are weapons and those kind of things. It's really funny to me. I'm part of enough toy groups now, that it's funny to me when I see somebody they'll have this random gun or something from a character or whatever, or a random accessory, and it's stuff that's burned into our brains as kids, the kids who had the stuff, and it's so funny. I have helped out many a person on toy things like that with like, yeah, that's a random,
Yeah.
pew pew from, this character, there was this or that, and it's cool to see communities come together like that. There are a lot of people who are very, very knowledgeable. I would definitely check that out though, because I like listening to people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah. And just a side note, I have no affiliation with the channel. I just happen to be a fan of the channel. So just want to make sure everyone's aware. I'm not plugging it for myself.
Sure, Nerd Costa Nostra. When I go there and it's like Nerd Costa Nostra's Toy Emporium.
Oh man, if I had an eighth of the toys this guy has in his store, I mean, it's just insane. And he drops a video every Saturday, so it's not like he does like constant uploads.
Sure.
But yeah, it's worth checking out if you're a classic toy person.
Absolutely, man.
I mean, he does modern stuff too, but when you see his shop, it's primarily a lot of the classic stuff.
You know what I'm enjoying? I'm enjoying watching Shayna discover like toy world. That it was funny. Yesterday we were at the store. I think we were at Walmart, and I saw a die-cast metal vehicle of the 1960s Batmobile.
You got that?
Except for it was all pink.
Oh, you didn't get it.
Oh, I absolutely bought that. Because they had one there, and it was funny because I pointed at it and Shayna saw it and her eyes lit up. I mean, it's pink. Shayna's a girly girl, man.
You got to buy it, yeah.
And I was like, I looked at her and I could see the smile in her eyes, and I was like, yeah, see, Rhea knows. There you go, see. And so I was like, oh, we're getting that. We are getting that all day long. And so yeah, so we bought the pink version. So.
Wow.
I don't know why they had a pink version. I have no idea why they had a pink version.
I don't remember that in the show.
I remember back in the comics there being Rainbow Batman, but I don't remember a pink version of the 1960s Batmobile. But
I do remember Adam was wearing a pink bat suit, but I did not see a pink Batmobile.
Yep. So, I like those headphones, DL.
Oh, thank you. I've had these for like a couple of years.
So DL, I gotta tell you what my kids did to me on Friday.
Oh, what they do?
Yep, I'm gonna out the boys on this one. So a couple weeks ago, me and the boys were talking because WrestleMania was last Sunday, and SmackDown came to Detroit.
Yeah.
On Friday. And so we were all talking about going, and I was like, yeah, let me know, guys. I'd definitely love to go, and stuff. And we've been looking for stuff to do lately and everything. So I come home, but throughout the week or leading up to it, Landon said to me, no, man, Dad, I wish I could, but I can't get the day off, and I got to work that day, so we're not going to go. And so it was like, I was going to go with Shayna, and then Shayna ended up having to do an event on Friday night. And so I was all by myself on Friday night. Nowhere to go, nobody to hang out with. And Landon pops by and he says, hey, Dad. I'm like, hey. And he's like, so I need to talk to you for a second. I said, what about? And he goes, well, so Taryn today, she went online and she got us tickets to go see SmackDown tonight. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like, you didn't call me. He's like, yeah, well, she was at work and, she didn't think about it, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And so I was like, no, it's fine, man. So I'm thinking that him and his girlfriend are going to SmackDown, like, no problem.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, here comes Isaac and Brianna out, and they're all four leaving together. And I went, hold on a second. You mean to tell me you remembered to get a hold of Isaac and Brianna, but not good old Dad? So I hyped it up. It was funny. We hyped it all up and everything. But then Landon started kind of digging in. And he's like, hey, Dad, there's a rumor that Cody might change the title back to the Winged Eagle tonight. And I said,
yeah, I heard that too.
I will be fine as long as he doesn't. Because I swear to you, Landon, if you did not take me to the freaking SmackDown that they changed it back to the Winged Eagle, I'm going to cut a promo on you. We had a really good time. We had a really good time with it. It was funny, and I gotta say, I know I'm giving him a hard time, and I don't know if he's still watching or not. But that being said, I have the greatest kids in the world. They're awesome. And Landon actually called me last night, and he's like, "Hey, Dad, Do we have gas in the gas cans at home? And I'm like, yeah. And I was waiting for, can I come borrow them? Or like, I need to make some money or something like that. You know, can I get some money? And he's like, I'm going to come over in the morning to mow the lawn.
Aww.
And you know what? You can't be mad at your kids. Yeah, I wasn't mad at him anyways, but you know what I mean? Like, you can't even like be playfully frustrated with your kids, like over not taking you to SmackDown when your kid calls you up and is like, I'm going to come mow the lawn for you, Dad. So I love my kids. I love my family.
Yeah, to be fair, I wasn't able to go to SmackDown either. I was going to take my girlfriend to see it, but she had work stuff as well. But we almost had free tickets as well because her mother had some connections or whatever, so we missed out on that.
Was that the one when Cody was there, right?
Yeah, Cody was SmackDown.
Yeah.
He did not change it to the Wing Eagle belt yet. Still has the big W, but that's okay. It's okay.
I feel like
I'm hoping
they're not gonna change it.
I think at some point he will. I think
Maybe if he could convince Triple H, he will. But
he's like, we just changed it, man. Why would we do it again?
I mean, if they want to get away from the Vince stuff, I would change the belt easily.
I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, are they going to give Bailey a different belt? Is she going to still walk around with the
I
big
would
W?
love if they give her a different belt for sure. Give the new woman.
I'm sorry. I was kind of glad that I didn't go to SmackDown just so that I didn't have to literally sit through like that 30 some odd minutes of a promo. Like,
yeah, that was the hell of Jesus.
I'm sorry. That promo went on forever. I'm sorry that we just kind of hijacked this about wrestling and about last week's SmackDown of all things, but like seriously, like, but that promo that Bailey cut like didn't go anywhere and it lasted forever.
Until the last 10 minutes when everybody just.
Well, you know, like Cody did the same thing on Raw, like just like her speech being like, "I finally got my WrestleMania moment," yada yada yada. At least we got, Naomi, got number one contenders for it.
It would have been dope if
But that was cool, DL. Like, but the thing is, like, it was getting to that, like.
They just took too long, yeah.
Yeah, it just took way too long. Like Bailey was just seemed to like keep going on and on and on and on and on, and it wasn't interesting. You know what I mean? At least with Cody, like there was like this build up, and it's like, yeah, and everybody's like excited, and everybody was excited for Bailey. Don't get me wrong, but it just seemed like she took forever to get there, and then they finally brought out Tiffany, which I thought was hilarious. By the way, I'm sorry. But I will sit here.
Bro, she's the funniest girl on SmackDown. Like,
listen, I will laugh every time and be looking for drops probably coming in the near future, man. Like them making fun of Tiffany Stratton. That.
Every time she pop up, I love how every girl wrestler just make fun of her easily. Like I just
she's wearing a clueless outfit.
Yeah, like come on.
I'm sorry.
She's like the funniest character. I was like, every time you just have to laugh.
To hear somebody named Tiffany get their butt handed to him on the mic every week, it's got a special place in my heart. Thank you.
Tiffy time.
But
but
even then, like the way that they did that, bringing Naomi out, like it was cool, but it just seemed like it took forever. To get there is all. But
padding out the runtime. It's like, okay, let's just go.
Yeah, those long ass commercial as well. Like, goddamn. Once they go to Netflix next year, hopefully you'll be good. No commercials there.
So that's a good question, right? Like, so when they go to, so it's we're on topic still on Netflix.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like? Because
that is a good question because they haven't said the specific on how that's going to look like on Netflix. Like, it's going obviously it's going to be live. But how it's gonna look like? Is it gonna be more edgy? Is it gonna be the PG-13 stuff? Like, what is it?
If there's people that have the premium, or the regular subscription, do they get commercial free? And then
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. If you pay the $10 Netflix, you have the commercial ones. Like they haven't said the specific of that because like WWE has 3. They have one for the CW for NXT. And then SmackDown for the US network, and then Raw for Netflix. So
and then the PLE is on Peacock. It's everywhere.
Yeah, and Peacock and stuff like that. Peacock been killing. Like they've been having a ton of events with the NFL, with anything. Like they're doing good. Like they haven't said the Pacific.
It is Triton. Triton's birthday, yes, was this. When was
it? Happy birthday!
But happy birthday, bro. We love Triton, and yeah, man. We're glad that it's your birthday. Hey, maybe let's all take Triton out for lunch. All 6 of us, shall we? What's your favorite place to eat, DL?
Shit, what is my favorite place to eat? Because I don't go out that much.
I'm thinking of maybe like a little place off the side of the road.
Oh boy.
Oh,
where you can eat your food.
Like a hole in the wall?
Kind of like a hole in the wall, but more like a trench, like a lunch trench.
All over town, people are talking about the lunch trench. It's the ditch where you can eat your food.
Wow, I wish I could unsee that.
Vintage drop! Vintage drop! I missed that drop!
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time
Oh my
since that
God.
one.
And hey, and if you're still hungry, Triton, when we get home, you know what? We'll make you some toast or a Pop-Tart.
I've been thinking about blowing up my toaster, but then how would I make my bread hot and hard at the same time?
Didn't that guy make you a whole song?
No, that's it. That was all he did.
Oh.
Yeah, Jordan was hilarious, man. Jordan was a good guy. I actually have an interview here on the channel with him.
Oh, Ted, how about shut the hell up?
What?
No, the trolls and chats is great.
Oh, really?
You'd be 97 in December. God
I
damn.
can't wait till everything goes on Netflix because I'm tired of going to different channels and subscriptions to watch WWE. Like, I hope they eventually everything just goes.
Yeah, I don't like. They should have got everything. They should have got NXT. I don't know why.
Well, this is probably.
I know
Raw
they
is
got
probably
like.
their
I know
test run,
NXT is going to be on the CW. They got the $500 million deal right there, and then SmackDown is going to still be on the USA Network, whatever. Like, okay, like why you just like get every brand on Netflix and you still make the same amount of money that you did for Raw?
Well, isn't every brand already on Peacock though?
Well, no, it's just their premium.
WrestleMania was on Peacock, but
Raw
not like,
is not on Peacock.
Not
Here's
yet, yeah.
the thing. I mean, Raw has been on USA Network, and SmackDown is SmackDown on USA? No, SmackDown's
on Fox right now.
On Fox, okay.
On Fox,
So,
yeah, Fox. My bad, yeah.
But the problem, well, it's not a problem, but it's going to be interesting because you're talking about two shows that have been free.
Mm-hmm.
Watch, right? You don't have to pay for those shows. You don't have to pay to watch Raw. I would say that for me, it would probably have been a whole lot harder for me to get back interested in wrestling again.
So I don't mean to cut you off.
I had to sign up for a streaming service to watch it at all.
Are you seeing Raw? Are you guys seeing Raw is not on Peacock at all, or just not live?
Raw, no, they show
because it's on there.
If you go to watch Raw, it's not like last week's episode is on there.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, March 11th, 2 hours 7 minutes.
Well, it's probably just a replay after they air it live on.
Yeah, after they air.
That's what I'm asking you guys. Is it
they
that
don't
or
always show up though?
Okay.
Like
I didn't know if they were because I don't watch Raw. I didn't know if you guys were talking about if it's showing live on some streaming network already and they're just moving it to Netflix or
No.
Okay,
Raw
okay.
will be live on Netflix.
So they have
next
been on
year,
Peacock.
Yeah.
They've been on Peacock with like because they had the WWE Network and
Yeah,
WWE Network went away and so they brought.
Oh,
he froze. Damn.
Like right at the most critical point.
Yeah, but right. The most point it was
But
making.
I'm fully aware that there was a WWE Network on standalone. Then they moved everything over to Peacock. But I know, and I heard about the news on Raw going to Netflix.
Yeah,
I just know if it was gonna. I haven't seen anything if it was actually gonna be aired live on Netflix or kind of like what they do now, where it airs live on TV, then you watch the playback on like Netflix or like right now. Like,
yeah, that's coming next year. They say Raw.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, they plan to air
I think it's gonna be live. I think it's gonna be live.
It needs to be live. They should not have this pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. Oh no. Have it live so that everybody on the Netflix audience could watch and be like, oh, this is something. Let me watch something. Oh, it's live? Sure. Like, yeah, you know. But like, if I were Netflix, if Raw is gonna be successful on my platform, bring every show on WWE there as well.
Well, that's the thing. They're waiting to see how Raw does on Netflix, and if it's successful, then I think they will slowly bring everything else over there. Because this is new territory for them. This is the first time WWE is not going to be on cable. You know.
Yeah. Which is smart. Hey, you got Netflix. If Netflix gives you $700 million, You take it. You know.
I mean, you're seeing other sports slowly transitioning to streaming services as well.
Yeah, like the NFL's doing that. The NFL's doing that with Peacock. They did it with the Super Bowl, and it made we got like 50 million views on Peacock. Like it did good for them.
Exactly. So
So,
like
yeah.
WrestleMania being on Netflix, that's going to be huge numbers for
Oh
them.
my God! If WrestleMania next year versus with The Rock versus Roman, oh my God, that would be breaking records after records.
I think it's still going to be on Peacock because they still have a deal with
Yeah,
Peacock.
they haven't.
That's over.
They have a Universal. Yeah.
Well, and if that's going to air on Netflix, Netflix is going to have to pony up to pay Peacock to say, hey, we'll let you put WrestleMania on your streaming service as well.
Yeah.
Oh, they could do.
Assuming it hasn't fully moved over.
Yeah,
by
haven't.
then.
Yeah, fully. Yeah.
Because Peacock may say, you know what, we want out of the quote unquote wrestling business.
Mhm.
You're gonna do Raw. Here, you can we'll sell you everything. Just put the whole thing on your platform. We're kind of out of this.
Yeah, that would be
Never
smart
know.
if they do that. I'll be up for. Like, as long as it's live TV, great. I don't like pre-recorded stuff. That's like
The pre-recorded stuff.
It's like it's good sometimes because it's funny, but like
It's gonna be pre-recorded and it's gonna be under the kids banner on Netflix.
Oh my God, no! I'm pretty sure kids, if it's live and then the first thing they see, oh WWE, what is that?
I just saw it. Breaking news 2 minutes ago. Going under the kids banner, pre-recorded. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding.
And then they just have to take out the curse words and everything. Oh my God.
That's another thing. I hope Netflix will allow them to be more edgy and not censor.
Yeah, I would love that.
everything, You know?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Ines, what were you gonna say before you just
my phone overheated. That's why.
Oh yeah. It get overheated when
Yeah. Anyways, but no, that's what I was talking about was like with all of that with Netflix and stuff, it's gonna be weird to watch a show go from free television where anybody can find it and you can just tell people like what's gonna go on. My question is this now going to affect like their YouTube channel, like WWE's YouTube channel, and them being able to show clips, like of things? Because right now,
that is true.
It's on television, and then what they usually do is they show clips of stuff. So like, they have like the confrontations and stuff like that. From it, are they still going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Are they going to upload it on the Netflix channel? That's going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, because you notice like on YouTube they would like USA would have like a separate channel for like because they say WWE on USA or WWE on Fox. Will they have a WWE on Netflix channel to show the clips as well? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully they won't be stingy about that because that will be very frustrating. And like, no, we can't show all these clips.
I mean, I get it that it's going to probably be a better thing for them because they're going to make more money, given the fact that all this stuff is on that content, is on that platform. But I think though that they're probably going to have to keep a good eye on that because I don't know if people are going to be able to easily find them anymore.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think they're taking. Yeah, that's one thing they have to keep in mind. Like, cause they can't assume everybody has Netflix. I mean, they're probably assuming that it will get more subscribers for the WWE fans that don't have a Netflix. Then they'll have to get it to watch it. But you got to keep in mind for people that won't have Netflix. Will they still be able to watch it? Will they actually pay for the service? I think they're also keeping in mind because they're seeing other sports slowly start to go into streaming as well. So they're like, we don't want to be left behind because, like, literally, let's be honest, do people really watch cable that much anymore? Not really. Like, I think WWE is one of the few things that are having people still watch cable nowadays. So it's like, and their PLEs are now on a streaming service as well. So it's not like you pay pay-per-view on cable anymore. It's like you literally go to a streaming service and watch their premium live events, watch WrestleMania on Peacock and stuff like that. So it's like, I see why they wanted to try and see what happens. But like, it's just a lot of things they have to probably think about. Like, how is this going to go about? How is this thing? Because this is new territory. We have never seen this before.
Right. Yeah. They've been on this kind of, like journey ever since they announced the network, right? Because, when they went away from the pay-per-view model and they went to a network model, it's because I've wondered, hey, Harley, get over here. I've wondered how they're going to, hold on just 1 second.
Yeah, the guy get his dog.
Or he's yelling at a neighbor.
Harley, get your butt over here. Harley,
stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. I had every assumption, Enosh, that you can hear me. Every assumption.
Now, Marty, hold on a second. Marty got this little.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
He needs
Rest
to
in
get like a
peace.
cell tower in his yard.
Neighbor. Come on. Get your butt over here. Anyways, I just think it's going to be interesting to see what they do because they've been on this thing since the network where it's like I've questioned how they're making their money because it used to be, WrestleMania was $65, $70 just to get that one pay-per-view. All the other pay-per-views were $45, $50 and you had a pay-per-view every month.
Yeah.
And then you went to the network, which was $10 a month. But even if I'm like figuring, okay, that's $120 a year, that didn't come close to what somebody was paying for the.
Yeah, I see what he's saying.
They got him again.
If you got every fan to sign up somehow, it wouldn't be the same, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing. And then they went to Peacock, where it's like where it's like just an extra $5 or whatever. So
I wonder if it will be an add-on.
I don't know what the future of that is. I mean, it looks like they're
Netflix.
getting more of their money now from the streaming services.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with that, in the near future and how it pans out for them because it just seems like they've gone from one place to the next.
Yeah.
And haven't really found a secure home.
I think also we got to keep in mind that like they're not just looking at like subscriptions or like viewership of the premium live events. They have advertisements as well. That's why you see the sponsorships all over the ring and also the ticket sales from being there live and also merchandise sales as well. So that helps with their revenue as well. So I think that's why, like, when they aired their stuff on Peacock or whatever, that wasn't much of a concern for them because it seems to be working for them so far. So I think it's just going to be a similar thing with Netflix when they air those live eventually.
Well, unless this opens the door for Netflix to say this is how we're going to have an add-on live subscription to our existing streaming. So you have stream when you want, and for an extra $10, we're going to provide these live options. And we're going to start with Raw. And that's just the beginning, where then eventually over time they'll have other things, other events, not wrestling related, that will also be live that you can watch or do whatever. Because I think Hulu has something like that. The standalone Hulu has something similar to that, where you can either stream or if you want to also see live stuff, you have to pay extra for that particular subscription.
Yeah, I'm not going to like that, but I'm expecting it to happen at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure it will happen at some point. Yeah,
it's just gonna suck if like.
But at some point, you're gonna have people now really starting to force, because I mean, I think this argument's been made for years, is streaming services are now just as expensive as having cable or satellite. So at some point, you while this might sound good on paper, you're gonna start forcing people's hands to say, okay, there's Paramount, Peacock, Max, Hulu, Disney, Netflix, Sling. I mean, there's all these other ones. And okay, I can only afford, let's say, 2, and I'm going to cancel these. How important is watching Raw to me when I can go on YouTube or go somewhere and watch highlights or clips? Okay, I'm canceling it, right? And because the majority of the content I like is on this service and this service, right? So I think, unfortunately, it might force
Cosa Nostra.
I
said, which is a lot of what people do anyways. Like,
yeah.
Like a lot of people aren't watching because they switched Raw to 3 hours like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And everybody has hated it ever since.
Typical Vince thing. That was done for
because
Vince.
It's just tons of advertisement. It's tons of like re-showing the same thing over and over again. Like the replays on stuff. And so you're absolutely right. Like nobody is going to see the value of that because it's so expensive now. And it's like, they get you coming and going because remember when the promise of streaming was it was going to save you all this money.
Yep.
Yeah, like I remember Disney used to cost $8, and then
Well,
now it's like
now, I mean,
$13
and I think now the
or
big
12.
thing is, I think which we've all seen or have either already decisioned is, do you where you get those automatic prompts? Like I got one for Amazon Prime the other day. Oh, your current subscription is for ads. Would you like to pay whatever it was to no
Yeah.
longer have ads, or do you want to
Man.
continue with ads? It's like that was part of the, I'll call it a gimmick, so to speak, when these streaming platforms first came out. Is there were no ads, there were no commercials. So like, especially for TV shows that they were putting on, where you could watch a TV show ad free, commercial free. Now I think that they've seen where, oh, all that money has been lost. How do we now get this money back? Let's start introducing that back into whether they're 30-second clips, 15-second clips, 1 or 2 a show or an episode. And now we're going to charge someone $7.99 a month if they don't want to see those.
Man, when I started seeing commercials watching Invincible, I was so freaking mad. And it wasn't just one commercial; they would mix it up on you. Sometimes
it was like a regular TV show, like back in the day.
2, sometimes it'd be 3, and then be like 1 to 2 minutes long. I'm like, dude.
So now think about this. So you think about original TV shows when they were scheduled for 30 minutes. What, roughly 12 minutes of that was commercials on regular old TV. So the episode was never really 30 minutes. Now you're getting a 30. Yeah, rough. Yeah.
Average.
So now you're getting a full 30-minute episode plus extra almost 10 minutes of commercials. So now you're streaming a 40-minute viewing of one episode because they've added all these ads and commercials into it.
Yeah.
But that's, and that's getting kind of out of hand everywhere. I mean, even on YouTube.
I agree.
Like now it's like YouTube, you go to something simple and it's like, you got, sometimes you definitely got 2 most of the time, if not more ads before a simple video. And then even in the way that, like, when as creators, like when we go to set some of that, right, it makes it hard to tell what to do, because like when you see every other channel going to a certain format, and it's like you're trying to be, it's like you're I'm not trying to bog anybody down with a bunch of ads, but at the same time it's like, it's time, and it's got to be something. And so it's a real fine line. But like, even it just seems like ads are just growing.
Yeah, like
growing. It's like the South Park thing from a couple years ago, where it's like the ads are just taking over, and it's just getting way out of hand. And it's like, but and it's like, how much will how much will consumers be able to handle that? I mean, there's nothing we can do. So you voice your concerns and you voice your frustrations while they show you another ad.
So I can't remember if it's Amazon or Hulu. I was watching. It's been probably 4 or 5 months. I was watching the Deadwood movie, that Western on Deadwood. And it was TV. It was a TV series. They made a movie. I was watching it, and probably 30 minutes in, ad pops up. I'm like, wait a minute, an ad in the middle of a movie? This is what we're coming to. And what did I end up doing? I immediately turned it off. I was so irritated. And I've never gone back to finish watching it. I'm like, nope, done. And I couldn't even tell you last time I probably even opened up Hulu. I don't even know if I even still have it now, to be honest. But something like that, especially when it comes to movies, is a complete as far as like a customer dissatisfier for me. I don't want to be interrupted midway, even 30 minutes into a movie with ads. That's like going to a movie theater.
I hate that.
You're 30 minutes into a film, and then next thing you know, ad pops up.
Dude, don't give them any ideas.
No,
Please don't give them any ideas where, like, all of a sudden
I think I actually dropped that.
You can go into this theater and have no commercials during the movie, or you can pay $2 less and go to this theater.
Actually, I think I dropped that in the Harkin suggestion box for ads in the movie.
That doesn't make any sense though, because before the movie plays, they show a bunch of ads. So why would you show it while we're watching a movie?
I'm just saying, we'll see.
On movies is ridiculous, given the fact that they will say a movie starts at 3:00, but the movie doesn't start till 3:25 because there's 25 minutes of ads.
Yes. Yeah. My gosh, as someone who used to work at a movie theater, that was just so excruciating. Having to watch I like trailers before a movie. Don't get me wrong. Me too. But like when it's like over 10-15 minutes of trailers, I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to start the movie.
I wouldn't mean him. mind it so much if it was like literally just trailers, but it's not. It's like commercials for the most random, stupid stuff sometimes. And
Chevy.
Just commercials. And then they the theater commercials for all the refreshments and all the stuff. And it's like, and now the theater's got a commercial, got to be part of their awards program, rewards program. And you got to have all this stuff. And it's like, you're sitting there 30 minutes later. It's nice when you're running late for a movie.
Yeah, true.
Because oh, it's okay. We still got like 20 minutes left. So we're good. We can still buy popcorn even because we got plenty. Especially if you got your assigned seats, and you know where you're going to sit. But yeah.
Well, they go from turn your phone off, go to a concession stand. Here's our rewards program. Here's a hospital you can put your grandmother in. Buy a Chevy, and here are now 10 minutes of trailers.
After the trailer, it's like, hey, make sure that on your way out that you stop by this table for like a
survey.
What's
Please
that?
take a
What's
survey.
that AMC commercial that everybody hates with what's her name?
Yeah.
We here at the
Oh, the Nicole Kidman
commercial. I'm like, that's so
every time I was like, stop! I love you as an actress, but man, stop.
And then on your way out, you're going to be asked, "Do you have 10 minutes to take a survey?"
Right?
No, fuck the service.
How was your movie theatrical experience?
How was your movie? First question: How did you like the ads?
like
zero.
You remember
Zero.
what do you remember about the movie you just saw? There was a movie. I thought it was just like a 2-hour commercial.
I mean, imagine watching Oppenheimer and then like 30 minutes in, ads pop up to say, "Is your grandmother not feeling well?" Well, here,
oh my God!
At the retirement inn, we care about our patrons.
Thank God I chose that movie.
The thing I love most about theaters is when they do the very obvious movie trivia things, and it's like every single answer to these, and they're just not. There's basic knowledge of film. It's pretty funny.
I mean, don't assume it. Not all casuals know that. It's very simple knowledge,
Well, not when the question is Michael J. Fox played in a movie where he went back to the future. What is that? What is the name of that movie?
That's
exactly.
That's the insulting my intelligence questions. I'm like, really, dude?
Or what role did Harrison Ford play where he had a whip and a hat?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Minority Report. The
saddest part is when you have the people in the theater yelling and they literally think they're yelling the right answer and they're completely off.
I told you,
like the one Bradley just gave when they'll yell like Air Force One. No, not Air Force One. No, sorry.
See, these casuals, man.
Yeah, some of those questions are so just
obvious. Super obvious.
Yeah,
like
sorry,
they're
but
giving it to you.
I'm really sick of Menudos. What's her name?
Maria Menounos.
Yeah, I'm so sick. What does she even do? What does she do?
I can just imagine.
She used to be on Extra or something.
Yeah, she used to be on
Extra.
Does it,
like,
I'm
cares?
not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to regret.
Like, you know what I remember her from? You know what her most memorable thing for me is besides having to watch her face every time I go to a movie?
WrestleMania.
Yep. She wrestled,
every time,
which was awful. But the highlight of it was
she wrestled?
Her move that she was doing kept pushing her butt into the faces of the female wrestlers, and she ended up with makeup on her white pants right at her butthole. So it looked like she had crapped her pants halfway through the match.
I gotta watch this now.
Yeah, it's
How
hilarious.
the hell do you spell her name? What the hell?
I don't know.
I can just imagine that the next movie that Enosh goes and sees in theaters, they're gonna play a Lady Gaga music video.
I mean, Joker.
Is that what it is? The Lady Gaga,
and it has nothing to do with Joker. It's just, hey, Lady Gaga, hey, let's put this video at the front of this movie.
Oh, that just reminded me when I a few years ago when I went to see Alice Through the Looking Glass in the theater. I mean, that was a mistake from the get-go. But before the movie
someone remove
played,
this person from the channel, please.
I'm sorry. I have to, But they played a full-on music video of Pink before the movie played because it was part of the soundtrack or whatever. They played the whole music video before the movie started.
I think that's where you go out front and say, I have a complaint. Yeah, sir. What is it? You're playing a music video right now. I came to watch a movie. Can we start this shit?
Yeah, I'd be like,
Let's
turn
go.
this shit off.
Hey, you guys are playing. Do you guys ever have this issue? Because I have this issue a lot at the theaters that I go to sometimes. Is the volume level is so low
Yeah.
that I've had to complain several times that like you'll be watching the trailers and everything and it'll be super loud.
Yep.
And you get to the movie and it's like somebody turned the volume down on the movie because, and I don't know why, but like I remember.
Or even worse, because when I went to saw Godzilla X Kong, there will be when there's special effects happening, when there's action scenes happening, that's loud. But when people are talking or when the monsters roar, it doesn't sound loud. I'm like, what is up with the levels here?
Yeah. So I've noticed that.
It's like all these movies were like dialogue. You can't hear anything.
Yep.
Right.
So
like, and I've had it happen a few times, like Scream 2. When I went to go see Scream 2,
Christopher Nolan.
The crowd was extremely loud, right? And that whole opening sequence, I did not hear the first 15 minutes of that movie, especially if Jada Pinkett was killed off, you know. And like, I'm sorry, but it was a majority of it was an African American crowd, and everybody pissed off.
So
everybody.
I can't
It was like nobody. They had all come to see Jada Pinkett in Scream 2. Literally,
Just like they came to see Drew Barrymore in the first
screaming, "My baby, you can't kill my baby!" And I'm like, okay, like you know that, like, and then like some of them, like, it was funny because you could tell that some people had not seen like Scary Movie 1, or not Scary Movie, Scream 1, where, you know, Drew Barrymore was killed off in the beginning. That was the whole shtick, right? Was that, you know, you get some named person and kill them off. But it was a funny experience, but everything was so loud, and the movie for some reason was there was like no volume. Even when it was quiet at moments, you couldn't hear anything. So like I didn't know what the dialogue was for the first 15 minutes of that movie. And the same thing with Green Lantern. I had to get up in the middle of Green Lantern and go out to the table and be like, we can't hear this movie. Like, there's nobody talking. There's no sound in there. And I'm like, we can't hear the dialogue, you know? And
so I can't speak for older movies, but I know with some newer movies, the whole Dolby Atmos has been an issue, especially with like for home movies, because like on like certain 4K and Blu-rays, because sometimes it will automatically convert the sound to Dolby Atmos, and you will run into that where you'll put your volume up to like 30 just to hear dialogue, but then when the action sequences happen, you have to hurry up and put it back down to 15 because it's just so overwhelming. But again, I don't know why that would happen with older films like Scream 2. I mean, that's a very much older film, but newer ones, Dolby Atmos has been an issue here and there.
I think it's probably just like maybe it's more difficult to convert that for older movies. Maybe that's why.
Maybe.
But it shouldn't be an excuse for these new movies. They should be.
I agree.
Good, you know.
I don't really have problems with that.
Well, I mean, honestly, the one of the problems is mastering, because as a musician, you know, people who remember, you know, when they started making CDs, for example, right? They weren't taking the sound from, you know, the best sources. They were using tape still and whatnot, and just converting it over and just saying, we put it on a CD, right? So it's good to go, right? And it was cool and new and everybody liked it. Then all of a sudden they started getting into remastering things and cleaning stuff up and taking out the pops and the hisses and the, you know, all those things that made music
George Lucas.
Well, all those things that made music feel more organic back in the day, they started taking those things out, right? And then came what is called the like the sound wars, or the noise wars, because what they started doing was all these producers, they'd get these amazing recordings, but you would never be able to hear the actual separation in it all, because they compressed the hell out of it, because they wanted to make it louder, because you can only go so loud before you start distorting. But if you compress everything together, then you can get it a little bit louder and a little bit louder and a little bit louder. And the problem is they started compressing everything. Well, if you think of it as a mountain range, right? You got your sound waves, right? And so here you got your guitars, and here you got your vocals, and here you got your bass, and here you got your drums, you know, and everything. Well, they all exist in that same space together as a mix. And you have somebody mix it to make it sound good together, right? Where everything sounds level and whatnot. And you can use some compression on that to kind of smooth it out, right? So think of it as that mountain range. So maybe you just take the tops of those mountains off just a little bit, right? Just to make everything so nothing goes above this level, right? It'll all hit the same top floor, which is fine because you can still see the mountains, right? You still see there's mountains. The tops may be a little bit different, but for the most part, you still see the mountains. The problem is that when the sound wars came, the noise level wars came, everybody was trying to make their recording the loudest. The problem is they completely leveled these mountains of sound, and so you didn't hear the brilliance in that guitar or that vocal anymore. Everything is just right. But you can make it really loud, which is great for radio stations, and it's great for us with our sound systems and everything because we want to blare that music. And it just got out of hand. And so, like, even today, like there are recordings that it's really funny to put in an old CD or listen to an old recording of something, and you can barely hear it. You got to crank it up because it was before that. It was before all that, compression. And where that comes in here is they're trying to make, these movies to be as loud as possible because that's our world now. That's just, if they've done this now and everything is compressed to hell. And so the problem is with that, like, I think sometimes, because I notice it in watching movies here at home with my home system, it'll be fine, even loud, and then all of a sudden something will just clip it and the whole thing turns off, right? Because it's just too much for it. And I just wonder if they're trying to manipulate systems with like with the way that they master them. So maybe some parts are compressed more than others, or I don't know. It just seems really wonky, and stuff coming out of channels sometimes doesn't make sense in the theater, So yeah, I think Cherie said it earlier, like those sound designers should be fired.
Well, they've known me now the problem with remasters a lot now too recently. Like for instance, the James Cameron remasters. The sound really isn't the issue; it's the picture. And so, same thing with the Star Trek remasters. When I got my dad the First Contact and a 4K remaster when it came out, and he said it looked horrible, and he had to turn it off because it looked so bad. So another problem is that like the picture quality, like they try to resolute it with, modern, 4K and 8K, and it just some of it doesn't look right. And it's not done well. You can just tell they kind of like cheaply just threw it together and didn't really spend a lot of time on it. I think I heard a lot of people say that Sylvester Stallone's cut of Rocky that came out, because I think that was in 4K, looked really good. And there's some that look great.
That did look good in the theater, Bradley.
Yeah.
From what I remember of it, I did fall asleep, but.
There's very few that come out looking really well done, and I know he was working on that for a long time though, so that probably benefited the process of it looking good. But I'm even skeptical about seeing the Spider-Man films in theaters right now, because most of the time theaters kind of fumble the bag when they re-release films. It ends up not sounding good or looking good, and it ends up glitching or freezing because they're playing it on a DVD player or something.
I don't see why that, like, the Spider-Man movies would have as much of an issue, because it's like, I mean, did it come out like 20 years ago? Sure, but still, like, I don't know how much changing they have to do for that, picture-wise and quality-wise.
I've seen some people experience like they're freezing, like sometimes like some of the scenes are like completely freezing. They have to like restart it and do it. So I've seen some people complain. I haven't seen much, just a few. But even in general, like when I saw Star Trek the motion picture and it was fine, and when they re-released that 4K, it looked great. It sounds great.
It's going to be strange because, like, if I do decide to see the re-releases of Spider-Man, because I remember seeing them opening weekend and they looked great. So I'm just like, you could be messing up if you look worse than how they did 20 years ago.
Those movies are ass.
Yeah, I think they look fine. I haven't seen anyone complain about like the quality of the picture.
Yeah,
as far as I know. But man, I can't wait. I have never seen them in theaters. I was alive.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, I was very little. When they were coming out.
So Spider-Man 1 and 2? Damn.
Well,
So,
I've seen them, but not in theaters.
Wow, in theaters. Oh, I mean, yeah, those are good movies.
Oh yeah, Spider-Man 2 is a masterpiece.
No, not the third one.
Amazing.
Third one is a dump fire.
I think the third one's is not as bad as everyone says it is. I think it's pretty good.
I'm never paying money to see that
good,
movie
good,
ever.
good for you, Bradley. Good for you. Bradley.
I can
never
start
in my life will ever pay.
I think it's actually a pretty good film.
Okay, I think the first one's really underrated. I love the first one.
I mean, the first one has some good parts in it. For sure. Like Willem Dafoe's amazing. It has
I would
some
love
crunch stuff. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about them possibly doing Spider-Man 4?
I'm indifferent about it, to be honest.
But they're never gonna do that. I'm sorry. Even Sam Raimi said last week they doing perfectly fine with Tom Holland. That movie make them almost like $3 billion, $2 billion every time.
One of the things. It's one of those things. Why? Why go back and and do that at this point?
Money.
And Raimi wants to. Raimi probably wants to make up for Spider-Man 3 because he didn't like.
Yeah.
He did want. That's yeah.
The thing is, like,
because still anything is better than Tom Holland at this point.
I mean,
whoa,
sure, but like Sony,
you heard it.
No,
I love Homecoming. I love Homecoming.
Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker before I take Tom Holland again.
No, I'm good.
For the 39 watching.
So would you have?
I mean, we're ready. Like, what is it?
And anyone else who gives a crap. That's Austin saying those things at the 2 hour, 7 minutes, and about 45-second mark.
No, but this the Toby Toby stories are very complete. What's cooking?
What I'm cooking.
Yeah, but I don't need to see Toby. Listen.
What he nosh?
Cooking. I don't need to see Toby again. His stories are very complete. They already gave us enough story in No Way Home what we was doing all this time. And he said, well, me and MJ got back together and stuff like that.
Like, I mentioned that because I don't like
and then give us what happened. And then give us also what happened to Andrew Spider-Man after Amazing Spider-Man 2 after Gwen died. He said he became a little bit grumpy. He probably killed people in that universe. So,
Wow.
Yeah,
that is where I will differ because the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man needs to come back because
I don't need to see Toby. I don't need to see.
Andrew Garfield has been wronged in so many ways by all because
Sony effed him over. Yeah,
he was given.
Bro, he got fired for no reason.
First Spider-Man movie was good.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Second one was dog shit.
But the second one is awful. And the crazy thing is he shines.
Yeah.
I mean, Rihanna would be like a diamond because he's all over the screen in the midst of all this crap, except for what's her name, which I just love.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone's amazing, man.
Can't bring her back.
She's always every time I say
there's Andrew Garfield shining bright like a diamond, like in that turd that is those movies.
Yeah.
And then he's got no good business showing up in No Way Home and literally stealing the entire freaking movie.
Well, he's the best part of the film.
Yeah, he stole the movie.
The absolute best part of that movie. He steals it from everybody. Everybody who was like, "Ooh, I can't wait to see Toby." Toby who? You mean
nobody cares about Andrew Garfield?
Come on.
Tom Holland Spider-Man's gonna be so much better. Tom Holland Spider-Man doesn't hold a candle to Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I would be okay with them taking anybody out of that role and just putting Andrew Garfield into the main Spider-Man continuity. Let him be Spider-Man. I don't care how old he is freaking now because he freaking deserves it.
Although I don't think he will come back under that doo-doo ass universe that's
40+ years old.
I think he come back. I think he come back for Secret Wars, and that will be his send-off movie, and that's it. Other than that. Yeah, but not the Sony universe. That universe is dog crap.
I would love for Toby and Sam to come back and kind of get a chance for redeeming, the end of that trilogy. I don't think I don't think the book was closed on Spider-Man 3. And I know Sam Raimi was advocating to do 4 to fix the, kind of general consensus about 3. So I would love for them to see that, but I agree. I think Andrew deserves just one more movie. If I don't want to see him in Secret Wars, I don't care about seeing any of these stupid cameos in Secret Wars. No cameo.
They're gonna be a
just not
part because
interested
of
anymore.
they're gonna be a part because of the Sony contract they have.
Like the only really person I want to see come back in any role is Hugh Jackman in Deadpool, and Professor X maybe, and some other characters that we haven't seen in a long time. But
maybe
maybe
the younger X-Men cast. I could see them coming.
Yeah, like me personally,
Enough
I got
of
to see Toby and Andrew come back, and I'm good. I don't need to see them come back anymore. But Marvel can't help themselves because they need to use characters that are more interesting than what they have.
Sony want to be a part of the Secret Wars, so of course they're gonna have those 2 Spider-Men somehow show up.
God, yes.
Eventually, so they're like, well, it's okay, sure. I guess.
We'll see what happens. But
Even Kristen Dunst, I want to come back. Yeah, sure.
No, go away. No,
no
more.
I mean, sure, you could come back, but whatever, but not in any way type of that. Her MJ was the most annoying part about that whole thing.
My God,
Peter, like
hey Peter.
Like, okay, bro.
We'll say Sam Raimi loves his dramatic screams from women.
Every movie you could tell.
I love it though. I love it. I love Sam Raimi's signatures, his phones, the
I
eyeballs,
love him too.
all that stuff.
See,
Sam Raimi knows how to do signatures in his filmography, unlike someone named Zack Snider.
Oh, come on. Oh Lord. That's debatable, but sure.
No.
I mean
If Sam Raimi directs Secret Wars, I'll be totally up for that.
That's the trick that Ronald McDonald taught me on how to see if a Big Mac is ready. All you do is throw some up against the wall, and if it sticks, it's done. Ready?
So we're just gonna anger Austin again.
Austin's not been in the conversation for a few minutes, so I thought I would draw him out.
Ryan, why do you do this to me? Damn it!
It's like you're in a fallout shelter.
Right.
I had to switch headphones because my phone was
That was a good-looking meal too, with the quarter pounder and the fries. That was such
Yeah.
Costs a lot. That's like $20.
Hey, Austin, look out behind you in the bunker.
There's good reason for my glistening skin, and how I shine, and how my pores are so clean and clear.
Your mom's so stupid she climbed a glass wall to see what was on the other side. Your mom's so stupid she thought a quarterback was a refund. Your mom's so fat when she goes on a diet the stock market crashes. Your mom's so fat she can't even jump to conclusions. Your mama's so fat when she goes camping the bears hide their food. Your mom is so stupid I told her she lost her mind and she went looking for it. Your mom's so ugly she had her trick or treat by email. Your mom's a hairy bitch.
Bitch! Don't call my mama no bitch!
That yogurt segment, I did not miss the lady covered in yogurt. Please don't bring that back. No.
That is just disgusting.
No.
Hey, don't kink shame some
Imagine taking that off. That definitely would take like 3.5 hours to get off.
Oh wait, I got DLs here. This is DLs.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
Can't stand you.
Cancel you now. Wow.
Abuse.
Good stuff.
Can't wait till he brings back the Skeletor ones.
Oh God.
Oh Lord.
So apparently Cyborg was the worst part of Zack Snyder's Justice League.
with the actor who plays Cyborg, Ray Fisher, being a terrible actor and his story making zero sense. These are actual comments made by the Avengers director Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon is the director who stepped in for the legendary Zack Snider. He stepped in for Zack Snyder on an already finished movie that was in post-production. He went back, did reshoots, and practically made it the worst movie known to man. He quite literally cut out the most important part of the entire movie. And that part of the movie was Cyborg.
How I feel someday.
I mean, you could tell. I mean, he's right about that part for sure.
I will say there are far worse movies than Justice League. Far worse.
I don't know about that. I can never watch that movie ever again.
Dude, have you seen Things?
Which one? The 2011 one?
No, the movie Things.
Oh, the thing. No, I never saw that one. But
Things. Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst films ever. I haven't had the pleasure of putting myself through the torture, but I've seen clips and
I can never watch Justice League ever again, man. That just give me nightmares as a Superman fan.
yeah, it is a pretty horrible film, but not the worst film ever made. There's worse.
I mean, Madam Web is worse than Justice League.
Yes.
I could get a little bit through Adam Webb than Justice League.
I'm trying to find my way through that movie, and so, but we just keep every time Shayna and I start.
Enos is gonna watch Doom Part 1 tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Part 2?
Part 2, yeah.
Yeah, Part 2 comes out digital tomorrow.
Enos is definitely watching that, right, Enos?
No, I could have pirated it this whole time.
Damn.
I can send it to you. I own it on HD right now.
No, please.
He can't get through it.
It's a masterpiece of film.
Even though George Lucas took some shit from it.
Yeah, Bradley, he hit you with your line. No.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Bradley, when you watch X-Men 97, you know she'll watch Doom Part 2.
No, I'm not watching that shit.
What?
Oh,
Why are you not watching it though? It's because he didn't grow up with the original.
Hold on, bro.
But don't celebrate too quickly, because then the nefarious supervillain Red Liquid joins the party. And Red Liquid's superpower? Racism.
And even though that show's the only show out of the whole entire week that came out that been trending for the last a month or so.
Hey, I watch Shogun. Shogun's amazing.
Dude, this is probably...
Yeah, but that show has not trending whatsoever on social media.
Shogun, yes it has.
It gets a ton
Shogun
of
has
praise
trended.
on social media, but it has never been #1 trending in the United States.
Basically, what I'm hearing is Shogun sucks and X-Men 97
No. I love Shogun. That's an amazing book.
Just saying Shogun sucks as a joke makes me like want to
it does not.
literally kill myself.
That show is that show is amazing. Yeah, that's no without doubt is amazing. And I'm grateful they're not continuing because good. They stay true to one season only. That's great.
Well, they could do an anthology sort of thing.
Well, they have other books as well that the guy created for different eras and stuff like that. So they could.
Yeah, they could do like an anthology sort of thing.
Yeah,
for
sure,
books. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Hulu so far, FX, Hulu doing a good job. They do good shows anyway.
Oh yeah, they make great shows. Except for American Horror Story, that show's garbage.
See, we don't. I remember watching the O.J. Simpson story.
I wish they would do more seasons like that. I like the
Yeah, that was great. The O.J.
Yeah.
Damn. I know they're doing one with Aaron Hernandez. So
yeah, the Menendez one was good too.
Yeah, they're doing one with the Menendez, and they're doing that with the football player Aaron Hernandez who killed people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're doing that. They're filming that thing soon, so that's gonna be great.
Law and Order did a little spin-off called Special. It wasn't Special. It was something else. But they did a season with Edie Falco about the Menendez brothers. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, do that. I mean, if you do more serial killer movies, TV shows, movie, whatever, go do that. It'll be
Oh, they're
people
gonna
like
do
it.
more Dahmer. That's for sure.
Shit,
Monster Story or whatever.
Anthony and Bradley here in the Poindexter Lounge, just gushing over all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I watch. You know.
Then me and Arthur here are going to be gushing about X-Men '97.
That's right. That's right. Hey, any thoughts on it?
Sandwiches ready.
Them pass through the upcoming machinery. For this sandwich, a jizz of mayonnaise is required, which is squirted onto the bread via an automated dispenser.
I didn't miss that.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's not even his worst one. That's not even his worst one, guys.
Which one do you hate the most, Dio?
Ooh, which one, man? Look, you already know the one I hate the most, the black kid. But no.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must. You will try. Wait! Just one thing! What? Why did you do all this? It's none of your business! Just tell me! Okay. Palpatine told me that I could say Padme. To say to say Padme! Oh my god! Padme, get up! Oh, Anakin! I have failed you! I really have failed you! To say Padme! You killed her! No, Master. I mean, good lord, what are you still doing working under him? I'm sorry, Master. Fucking dumbass! You betrayed the Jedi Order! You literally started a genocide! And you killed younglings! Yeah, the younglings. Anakin, that's not funny, okay?
Man, I would love.
Yeah,
I would love for Ahsoka. I would love for
amazing film.
Yeah,
are amazing. Okay.
I would love for the second season of Ahsoka to do more Clone Wars flashback. Just give me Hayden again and I forgot the guy who played Obi-Wan. God damn it! Give me the Clone War. Give me the Clone War armor, please, so I could get the Toy edition. I want that.
There is one drop that I think is terrible. I don't even want to say what it is because he's going to pull it up. But man, I can't even say it. He's going to pull it up if I say it. But it's like
I may or may not actually.
You may or may not. What is it? How should I take that? But there was this guy with the swollen junk, like it was huge swollen junk.
Oh yeah.
That just was just disturbing. I'm like, God, no, just never again.
Yeah, I would have to find that one. I don't know.
Thank God he won't bring that drop up ever again.
Well, I didn't say that.
Oh God.
I said I have to find it. Somebody said something about my Skeletor one.
That's a live action movie.
I didn't see that one.
These are the ones.
When two people French kiss, they form an approximately 60-foot-long tube between two buttholes. Until next time.
Yeah, those.
Your lips are made of the same skin type and texture as your anus. Until next time.
Run. Until next time.
Till next time.
Oh, I love
When a pregnant woman goes swimming, she is a human submarine. Until next time.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No times.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know, man. I had so many freaking drops, man. Like,
yeah, like you had like a whole catalog of drops.
I'm looking at like some of these, like, and I'm trying to see them on my phone, so it's like I can't remember what all of them are, but like that's a scary place to be with a couple of these, I know. But yeah, man, there's some that are just bringing back memories of just good times and late nights, and of course there's always you guys are talking about your least favorites. I think this one was always William's least favorite.
God, I forgot about that one. God,
I don't understand. I don't understand the problem.
God, I literally wiped that from my memory.
Well,
oh God.
Okay. Let's have a palate cleanser.
God, I forgot that one. Now he's going back to that dark rabbit hole of horrible drop. I'm like, these memories coming back. I suppressed for years. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I got Monday Night Raw time. I gotta go.
All right. Love you all. We've talked about everything, but we've had a good time. We've had some fun.
A good time. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what do y'all think of Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog?
I'm up for it. I'm up for it, man.
I'm up for that.
Here, in the Poindexter Lounge. But I'm at the wrong thing here, so hold on just 1 second. All right. Like I always say, don't let anybody tell you fandom doesn't matter. Don't tell anybody that their fandom doesn't matter, because that'd be a real jerk thing to do. But you know what? Seek to have good conversations and treat people with respect and have a little fun along the way. If you do that, there'll always be a place for all of you here in the Poindexter Lounge. Until next time, thank you to everybody who was here. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the good times. And thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys are all friggin' awesome. We'll see you next time. Stay nerdy. Bye-bye.